Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Krivas turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're counting down to tip-off of Arizona basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
To the right block for Awaka. He'll put it up off the glass. It's no good, but the second chance opportunity on his own rebound. Awaka finishes.
Intent on getting the ball inside. You have to love it.
Floating it down for Awaka under the basket. Awaka's double team, triple team, and it's going to be swatted away by the Mountaineers. Javon Small comes up with it. Mountaineers in the fast break, moving left. Small sends a Wildcat to the floor, and he drains the mid-range shot from the elbow. He'll hit it to DeVries, who fires for three. That's good. From Tucker DeVries, yet another three-pointer, his seventh for West Virginia.
Picking on Mo Krivas, whose man set the screen to free up DeVries.
Down to 6 seconds. Crossover, move left, step back. Faked it, now goes baseline. Missed the shot. Trey Townsend pulls it down. Shot clock is off. KJ Lewis the other way. Caleb Love fires for three. That's good from Caleb Love. We got a tie ball game at 66 with 14 seconds to go here in the ball game. What a shot from Caleb Love. 5 to go. DeVries moving left. Spin move. He's going to stop. The fadeaway is up. It'll hit off the rim. No good. And we're going to overtime. Wildcats need to score quick. Hand off to Anthony Del Orso. Now to KJ Lewis. He'll fire for three. That's off the back of the rim. No good. Love tips it back. Anthony Del Orso got it. Down to Caleb Love. Pump fake. The three from Love is off the rim. No good. And the rebound goes to Oconee for the Mountaineers. And now with under 30 seconds to go, he's going to be fouled and sent to the free throw line. Small headed to the line again.
Just like last night, couple of threes could change the complexion of the game with less than 30 seconds to go, and Arizona couldn't draw the bottom of the net either time yesterday. Both of the threes here missed, and you're sending again an outstanding free throw shooter to the line who is perfect tonight.
And Harris gets the inbound. He'll run the timeout as West Virginia claims third place in the battle for Atlantis. Mountaineers 83, Wildcats 76.
And for the first time in the history of the Tommy Lloyd era here at Arizona, your Wildcats are sitting below 500 at 3-4 uncharted territory. But as you'll hear the head coach say, he's built for it. He's built for these situations, and he's been around a lot of winning. It's time to figure it out, get in the lab and figure it out and get this team back on track to playing the kind of basketball that this fan base at the University of Arizona expects. And it begins today with a home game against Southern Utah, the first ever meeting between the Wildcats and the Thunderbirds. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I am David Kelly, soon to be joined by Kelvin Efon, as well as J.W. Madden. We've got a lot in store for you over the course of the next 3 hours as we take you up to tip-off today. Network coverage at 11:30, and it'll be Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen with the call of this contest coming up for you at noon. Arizona, Southern Utah. Let's take a look at what we've got on today's show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we'll review that overtime loss to the West Virginia Mountaineers, our first opportunity to play against a team in the new Big 12 conference that the Wildcats have entered into. We'll preview Southern Utah. Again, first time these two teams have gotten together. It'll be our first look at the game. Brought to you by Window Depot. Spotlight on a cat. Trey Townsend was big down the stretch for the Wildcats in their finale down in the Bahamas. The youngster out of Michigan will shine a spotlight on him, courtesy of O'Reilly Chevrolet. Check your college basketball scoreboard as well as your football scoreboard. A lot of conference championship games going on as we get down to the final spots in the new college football playoff. We will also hear from the head coach today of the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, Rob Jeter. He has been at a number of spots, mid-major spots in college basketball, trying to work his magic now with the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. Your best bets as we take a look at this game on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook. Arizona is a 25.5 point favorite. The over-under today is 156.5. All right, it is the Wildcats and the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. Did not go well, as you heard in the highlights there at the top. Arizona went down to the MTE, multi-team event, 3 games in 3 days. The battle for Atlantis on Paradise Island in the Bahamas, and beat Davidson to open things up, but then took L's to Power 5 teams in Oklahoma and Big 12 foe West Virginia. Arizona is 3-4 on the season. All 3 of their wins have come against non-Power 4 teams. All 4 of their losses have come against Power 4 teams. Tommy Lloyd said, it was a rough week for the Wildcats.
Hey, tough week for the Wildcats. We came in here, obviously, we'd had a couple losses and we're hoping to right the ship and come here and compete for a championship. And, we had moments where we feel like we're close, and then there's moments where we feel like we're far away. So, we got to go back as a program and do some soul searching and look within ourselves and kind of figure out, find some real answers to why we're not being as successful as we'd like to be. And, I'm here for it. And we're going to roll our sleeves up and we're going to get on that plane tomorrow, get back to Tucson, and get to work.
That was Tommy after the loss to West Virginia, which now was last Friday. So the Wildcats have had a week to try to get back in the lab. They just could not stop the son, Tucker DeVries, of the head coach of the Mountaineers.
8 on the shot clock. It's KJ Tenner. Driving left, guarded by Bradley. 4 on the shot clock. DeVries takes a deep 3, and that's good from DeVries. Tucker DeVries with his 4th 3 of the ball game.
8 Arizona turnovers, and West Virginia has outscored the Wildcats 15-0 in points off of those turnovers.
Sear Harris has it on the right wing with Caleb Love right in front of him. He's looking left. Harris gets it to DeVries, who fires for 3 again, and it's good again from Tucker DeVries, his 5th three-pointer of the half. West Virginia leads 37-34 over Arizona.
Yeah, Tucker DeVries was big in that ball game. 26 points last Friday. The coach's son, as his dad, Darren DeVries, takes over that program, long coached by the legendary Bob Huggins, and then last year on an interim basis. But they seem to have that thing back flowing, and they drew a lot of respect from one Tommy Lloyd.
Come on, we know it's a tough road. We're living it right now. Like I'm not, we've never overlooked anybody, and we've never, I never looked at the preseason Big 12 rankings coming into this deal. I mean, West Virginia is a good team. They got a good coach. They got a good system. They got a couple really good players. I mean, that guy hit some threes today that were, timely and deep and off staggers. And I mean, those are incredible shots that there's not many guys in college basketball that can make those.
Talking about Tucker DeVries, I bring in my 2 compadres. We've got J.W. Madden and the captain, Kelvin Efon. Guys, what did you think of our first foray against a Big 12 opponent?
Well, I thought it was exactly what I would expect from a West Virginia team. You would have thought Huggins was still there. The way that those guys were just hustling and giving effort on the defensive side of the ball. The key thing that I look at, 11 steals. They had 11 steals, and we only had 4. That means that they were just a little scrappier and a little hungrier than we were. They were a little undersized, so they kind of had to have that hustle about them. But yeah, man, those guys just brought a real fight to the game that I don't know if we was quite ready for. But hey, a great dress rehearsal for when things get serious in the conference.
Yeah, what did we see? I didn't see anything that I didn't expect. Right? I mean, you talk about Huggins, K-Rock. I mean, that's what they do. And it's really more about Arizona matching that intensity, Kelvin, matching that physicality. being stronger with the ball, and also being stronger on-ball defense. Like those three things, I expect Arizona to have some conversations this week and turn those three aspects around more than anything, because guess what? I mean, Kansas, Iowa State, a lot of these teams Arizona's going to be seeing on that schedule are going to be just as physical or more physical. So if you don't step up and match that level of intensity and physicality and purpose, play after play after play after play, Kelvin, you're going to see more L's like that, because that's what teams are bringing at Arizona. I think Arizona generally, Kelvin, is going to have a skill advantage at most positions. And how do you counteract that? Well, you do a lot of zone. You do a lot of trapping on the post, those kind of things. And they got to figure out a way to overcome that physicality and match it and step up to that level themselves.
We got a chance to hear from Caleb Love, and he is not concerned with the Wildcats being under 500 for the first time in the Tommy Lloyd era.
Yeah, we just got to start having better starts to the games, to, halftime, and then obviously to overtime. They kind of took over the momentum early. The turnovers kind of hurt us in this game, and we just got to figure out what we want to do, how good, because, I still believe we're a good team. It's early in the season. I'm not panicking. I hope my teammates and coaches aren't panicking. And we just, once we get back to Tucson, we're going to regroup and, figure this thing out.
Caleb Love, that's one guy that you obviously need to kind of get untracked for sure. He's been kind of up and down so far in this early season. Kelvin, what do you kind of make of what we've seen from Caleb through these first 7 games?
Well, first of all, I want to say I love those comments that he just made. We're going to get back there. We're going to get back to work. I think we have a good team, and we have some things, to go get better on. And I think, he's one of the things, because it's a shot-making game now. 4 for 12 from the 3. I think he can get some easier shots in the paint, and I think he know that as well. And I think that's one of the things that he's going to come back, and the coaches are going to come back and work on. Go ahead, Jip.
Nah, Kelvin, I'm just messing with these fancy new cameras that we got. I wasn't even putting my hand up because I wanted to talk. I'm trying to get my camera to stop tracking me. That's what I'm doing.
We got some new equipment here. Big fancy
just so you know, Kelvin,
different cameras.
If that light is blue over there, that thing's gonna be following you around the room. That's how that works.
But at least for the first time in about a week and a half, the folks can see us. It's actually like I'm watching it right now. It's a little bit delayed in terms of when I say things and when I see them on the screen. But it should all look very nice and new to the folks out there that are watching on any of our 3 streaming video streaming platforms, Facebook Live, YouTube, and as well as Twitch. A few glitches, but we'll get those ironed out. One guy that didn't have a whole lot of glitches last week was Trey Townsend. Good to see Trey kind of have a big ball game, showing his strength really inside the kind of player that he can be on the low post. Second on the team right now, averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds per game, shooting 58% from the floor. He had a season high 19 in that game against West Virginia. Here's Trey just on his performance.
I feel for me it's all about confidence. Beginning of the regular season, I was struggling with that, but my teammates have the utmost belief in me, and I've been playing with a lot of confidence and really trying to trust my defense. And I felt every time I was touching the ball, we were building momentum.
And again, I think, guys, what we're seeing is, and you'll hear Tommy say this, is you're seeing some of these guys start to grow up a little bit. It's taken some of these games here in the early going, and that was really the first game where Trey Townsend kind of looked like a guy who could impose his will at times down on the low post, and that was good to see.
Well, Kelvin, just real quick, let's not get it twisted. We all know Trey Townsend spent 4 years as an ISO player. Their offense was basically catered upon him doing damage one-on-one, getting doubled, finding open shooters. That's what they did at Oakland. He's transitioning into a situation where you need to make quick reads and quick decision-making in that flow offense and that motion offense that Coach Lloyd runs. It's not as if Trey Townsend isn't capable, Kelvin, of making those decisions on the fly. It's just you spend 4 years of your life doing one thing, transitioning to doing something else, and in real time against real opponents like we saw out there in Atlantis. I'm not worried at all, Kelvin, about Trey Townsend mixing himself into that flow offense. It's just his tendencies right now are to square up and get in that triple threat and attack the rim, because that's what he's always done. I think he's finding a better way to pick his spots and where his shots are going to come from.
And I think they did a better job of finding him on the block where he can just make a dribble or two and bully his way up to the rim. Built real strong. And so, but to me, guys, I think on the defensive end is where I want to see him step up. Though offensively, I never even the games where he didn't score well, I never questioned that. I knew it was a matter of getting the ball to him on that left block where he used to go into work at. But I need to see more. I think he has more to offer on the defensive end. Being that guy that can guard the 3-point line and being physical in the paint. I need him to average 6 rebounds. 4 isn't enough. I really want 7, but I'll take 6. I'll take 6 because he's physical enough to be able to get it done on the defensive end as well.
Tommy Lloyd liked what he saw from Trey on last Friday against West Virginia.
He's been playing great, and it's just kind of become a real steadying force for us. And it's fun to see how we're going to find ways to utilize him. And just he made some big time plays to kind of keep us in that game. Listen, we got to get our bigs playing better. We got to get them playing better. Our bigs have always been an integral part of what we do. They got to be able to create advantages for us, and we're going to get back to work like we always have with our bigs, just day to day. Working with them, developing them, trying to get their belief a little bit higher, their confidence stronger. And then get their teammates to get confidence in them. But they got to play better to do that.
Yeah, and what I was saying was, you look at DeVries from that game, Tucker DeVries and then Toby O'Connor. Those guys were playing basically in that spread 4 position. Right now, that's the big guard kind of situation where the guys can shoot the 3 or get by guys. One of our forwards got to be able to guard that guy. We got to be able to guard, because I don't think we're getting killed from guards. Mm-hmm. I think we're getting killed at that position where everybody is trying to take advantage of. It's that stretch forward, tweener, small forward. What was the kid from Duke name? Same position.
Cooper Flag.
Yep. Same position. I think that's where we have to get stronger as a defensive team.
And I think you're going to hear Tommy Lloyd kind of address that coming up when he delves into more what he's talking about there when he says we've got to get stronger with our bigs, especially as it relates. That was one of the questions I asked him in terms of the amount of 3-point shots that the Wildcats are giving up so far in the games, and how he's trying to address that deficiency right now in his defense. 3 and 4 is the record again for the first time in the Tommy Lloyd era. Under 500, unranked. It was weird for me. I put together some of these graphics. If you're watching on our video screen, it was weird for me not to put a number next to U of A for the first time.
Have you seen the Big 12 standings?
I have not.
No, I've been last place currently.
Wow. In terms of the record.
Last record.
It's not where you want to be.
And I just took a screenshot because I'm like, this has to be the first and only time that Arizona will ever, in a 16-team league, Arizona basketball, Kelvin, in last place in the preseason non-conference schedule, where Arizona's usually playing teams and there's someone like 5-1, whatever. This might be the first and only time Arizona's ever in last place in the Big 12.
And first time in 14 years that the Wildcats are under 500 during a season. Tommy Lloyd knows that is not the place to be.
We're going to get back in the gym, and we're going to get to work, and we're going to clean things up. I mean, this is not the product that we want to be putting out on the court right now, and I think we got the right guys. I know we got the right guys. Now we need to make it happen.
And he's built for it. So let's see where it goes from here. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Getting you set for the Wildcats and Southern Utah. First ever meeting between these two schools. A lot more straight ahead. We'll take our first look at Southern Utah. We'll also dive a little bit into the big man issues that Tommy Lloyd was talking about. We'll hear from the head coach, as well as we've got volleyball today at McHale Center. Charita Stubbs' team is playing in the National Volleyball Invitational Championships tonight, the second round against Pacific. We'll hear from the head coach of Arizona's volleyball team as well. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's December in Tucson, and yes, it's cold outside, but we're here to help with our $79 furnace diagnostic service special and our $79 water heater flush that includes a free plumbing inspection. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturerockschooling.com. And on behalf of our entire team, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Master Dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Hit the community trails, explore local parks like Saguaro National and Colossal Cave, and mingle at private Diamond Community Park events. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rock & Kay is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 11 different model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in-ready homes and special incentives. Live RockandK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thona Autumn Nation.
The one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Efon, and J.W. Madden.
Arizona gets it in for Caleb Love in the left corner. Gets a screen from Krivas. Step back three from Love is good. Caleb Love with the Lexus of Tucson charity three.
Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Southern Utah, Arizona today at McHale Center. Tip-off coming up for you at noon on this Saturday, December the 7th. Anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Southern Utah comes to Tucson with a record of 8-2. They are unranked under Rob Jeter, who's in his second season. They went 10-21 last year in his first year. 8-2, off to a better start this year. He's coached as a head coach at Southern Utah. He was at Wisconsin-Milwaukee for a number of years. He was at Western Illinois, a disciple of Bo Ryan.
Yeah, Kelvin, I was going to say. Bo Ryan disciple, watch out.
Yes, indeed. Rob Jeter brings his club in here for, again, this first ever meeting with the Arizona Wildcats. And it has been, again, a week that the Wildcats have had a chance to get back in to the lab. Tommy Lloyd, how did this week go?
The most important thing is, we stay committed to the process. We kind of got to detach from the emotional aspect of it and lock into the process and get back to kind of figuring out what's made us successful. And so we just kind of really tried to take a step back and dive into those details.
Yeah, Kelvin, real quick. We talked about this last post game, but you've been in a lot of locker rooms after wins. You've been in a lot of locker rooms after losses. And, on both sides, football, basketball, the worst thing ever is when players start pointing fingers and you start having infighting as, hey, it's not my fault, it's your fault, and this stuff and the other. Getting back to work, Kelvin, right there, what Coach said. Just getting back in the lab and saying, okay, we're doing this well. This is what we got to work on. Who's ready to step up and take that challenge?
My last broadcast, that's exactly what I said. I said, after you take these L's, the coach get a chance to do his job now. Coach. A lot of time when the coach is winning, he don't have to coach much. He just ride the boat and just let that thing just keep going. You just let it be. But when you take a couple L's, now you tell the guys, hey, look, all those little things that I've been telling y'all about, those things have been important. We're going to get back to work, and we're going to work on those things. The guys that don't execute those things that we work on, I'm going to sub you out. We have enough guys. We have enough talent to be able to make some subs. You actually got, you learned a little bit about you because you did learn some things, some good things. You learned that they also can actually shoot. They also came alive there. You learned that Carter Bryant can give you some valuable minutes as well, right? So you actually learned that you do have some backup guards that can come in and give you some minutes behind those three starters. So that's something that you learned. But now you get back to go implement that at practice, and guys get to really work on the video of watching themselves letting guys beat them and different things. And it was, I think, DK, did you post something? Oh, no, somebody else I seen posted a defensive thing. I'll talk about that later about Caleb being in the wrong position defensively. It actually was KJ. KJ didn't get out to the denial. He was when you're one pass away. When you're one pass away from a guy, especially a shooter, you have to get to him and touch his body.
We always called that the Olsen hook.
Yeah.
When you got quality guys on the bench, Kelvin, that if you're not doing what we've been talking about this week in practice, I got somebody else who was listening, right?
Exactly. In this one particular play, there was kind of a back screen set by KJ's man. KJ should have switched and got up and take away the three, especially since these guys have been making threes. And he kind of stayed, he kind of held on to the screen a little too long before getting to his guy. Caleb could have got up and got into the guy earlier to take away the back door, but he was there on the backside box where all the coaches tell you to be when you're 2 passes away from the ball. And I know all the people out there that understand basketball a little bit understand what I'm saying right there. When you're 2 passes away, you're not stuck to your guy because now the lane is opened up for guys to drive. So you have to show your jersey number in the hands when they say 10 hands and 10 chests or whatever they were saying or whatever. But you have to be there and show yourself and force a pass where you can get back.
You know who likes to drive, Kelvin? Southern Youth.
Oh yeah. So you have to be there. So that's the thing. They got a chance to work on all those little things that they wasn't doing right in the game that they probably was overlooking when they were winning early.
The challenges that this Southern Utah team is going to present to yours, Tommy Lloyd?
Well, first off, they're 7-2, so there's a challenge right there. It's a team that's won games this year. I think if you look at their roster, like a lot of these teams, it's filled with a bunch of transfers that have talent. I have not really played Southern Utah before. I just know a little bit about their program. I would just say that their level of talent and athleticism is probably higher now than it has been. So, you're going to come in here that you have a team that's 7-2 that's going to be willing to go toe-to-toe with you. As for specifics, I don't think there's anything that they're doing that no one else is doing, but I think you're going to have a team that's going to come in here, licking their chops and ready to battle us.
It's a team that likes to get to the free throw line, that's for sure. Rob Jeter, again, as we mentioned, in his second year as the head coach, on how he's preparing his team for this game here today in Tucson.
Well, listen, I'm talking about all the other performances we had. We've been on the road. We've had three road games. We played some really good competition. We didn't play well at UCLA. I'm not going to give any excuses. I'm not going to talk about the 5 games in 10 days and the road trips and all the things that we did. Those aren't excuses because we were not tired. So we have a chance again, like every game, to rewrite or to continue to write a story about our team. And this is a great opportunity to go to Arizona and play a team that is always in the hunt for their championship and to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. So it's going to be exciting to go there and play, knowing that it's our next opportunity and playing one of the best programs in the country.
And we're looking forward to a chance to talk to Rob Jeter at length coming up a little bit later in the show. He will join us and to give you a full scouting report on his ball club. He mentioned they went to UCLA. It was not a good night for them. They lost by 40-plus points to the Bruins, but that was kind of at the tail end of a road trip. So, who knows exactly in terms of where their legs were going into that particular game. But another opportunity for them, obviously, against a top-flight opponent in Arizona here today, and they're much looking forward to that. Arizona, again, needing to get their bigs together. One of those bigs is Toby Awaka. Did not necessarily have a great game against Duke. Bounced back with some solid performances in the Bahamas. Has as many offensive rebounds, 31 this season, as he does defensive rebounds, 31 this season. Toby talks about some of the things he's working on in his game.
Fouling has definitely been one. Just making better decisions on the perimeter, playmaking, knowing how to read defenders and how to help my guards, in the pick and roll, things like that. But I would just say, just playmaking. Also, being able to shoot the 15-foot jumper and possibly extend it to three-point range as well. That's something I've been looking to improve on also.
Toby Awaka potentially shooting threes?
I mean, that'll be great, but at the same time, man, I just need him to be strong around that basket and get those easy buckets around there and take care of that work. I understand growing your game, and that's a part of it. As players, you want to develop and to be able to get to a next level, high level. He's definitely got to extend his range, but I ain't gonna lie, J-Dub, I really don't like him talking about that right now.
Not at all, especially when you think about the fact that, it's all 4-out, 5-out sets these days, and that's because, Kelvin, you've got 4s and 5s who can consistently knock that shot down. If you're tinkering with it, and you're thinking maybe I could add this to my game at this stage.
Right.
That's not.
This ain't it.
When you're talking about a guy with 31 offensive rebounds, that's the big.
You're going to take yourself away from the basket?
Now, if he's if there's a defense, you know how like there's those sagging defensive styles these days. Tommy will do that sometimes. Just pull the guy, drop the guy off of the big. If Tobey is feeling confident out there and he wants to let one fly, get after it. But I don't want to see Tobey Awaka shooting 2-3 threes.
I think that's ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie to you, Trader. I think that's ridiculous for even him to even be thinking about that. With the rate that he can offensive rebound, there's no advantage for him taking offensive rebound. If he wants a chance of playing at a high level, I don't have the same understanding for our basketball situation in football. That's why we have 5 stars everywhere. We are a great program. We've been that way. Football, we've been mid-tier. We don't get all the great guys. So, if we went into these football games with a bunch of 5 stars, I'd be like, hey, what is the coach doing? How are you messing this up, right? But again, I'm going back to Tobey. I respect that he want to, get better, and be able to stretch his game out past the 3-point line. But I just think that ain't what he needs to be worried about right now. Do what you're good at. Do what you hang your hat on right now. You need to be bored. I need more boards on the defensive. I don't like the 31 and 31 DK. I don't like that. It should be 64-30.
Right, you should have more rebounds on the defensive end.
That means you're fighting more for those because they're even more important than the offensive rebounds. Because that means you're stopping the possession on that end of the court. So now, man, don't worry about the play right now. What are we talking about? How did somebody ask him that question? Like, how did he even start talking about that? What happened, Jada? What happened, man?
I think it was a simple question about just what he was working on.
What were some of the things about his game he was working on? And
he needs to be working on post move. He needs to be working on post move. Am I wrong?
Left and right.
Come on, man. He been fumbling that ball around down there a little bit for DJ Dub. He been fumbling around, man.
Against the West Virginia game. And Tommy talked a little bit about that. He also talked a little bit about the rebounding. Wasn't necessarily happy with that down in the Bahamas.
I thought rebounding, some of the just timely rebounding stuff was not where it needed to be. We looked like we'd played good defense. We have a chance to make a run. We're making a run, and you give up a putback. And we just got to do a better job. And sometimes if you're doing some switching on defense, which you kind of have to do some of in this day and age, your guard's got to be tough enough to block out their 4-man. I mean, your guard's got to be tough enough to give it effort to block out a 5. I mean, that's winning. That's an us play.
Guards blocking out 5s.
Yeah, I mean, everybody switches these days, and it's a big scramble, and there's a lot of Kelvin. One thing we don't really talk about enough is the offensive efficiency in the offensive game is just improved so much in the last 20, 25 years when you got a lot of 3s, 4s, and 5s. You can do things that bigs didn't really do back in those days. So you're going to have a lot of switches because the threat of what's Cooper Flagg? What positions does he play? He's a shooting guard, but he's like 6'10", right? So that style, you're always going to get switched out. And so you're always going to have mismatches. And guys like KJ are going to find themselves boxing out 6'8", 240, 50-pound guys pretty regularly. That extra effort, Kelvin, is what it takes to get those important rebounds.
And first of all, I think they got to do a better job of fighting over. Right? Because some of the switches are unnecessary. It's just too easy. Like if I'm the defender, that's how I got him defending. I ain't switching that easily. I'm staying with that guy because you know what I don't want? I don't want that shooter going against my big. Right, DK. So I'm fighting through. I'm not switching. I'm fighting through. You have to just be a little bit more aggressive. I think we're not being aggressive enough on the perimeter defensively. I think we are switching too easily. I think guys are. You have to want that matchup.
And those two things go hand in hand real quick because what happens is they were hunting Krivas. So like they were trying to get Krivas in some kind of ball action up at the top and trying to get a small forward guard, working on ball with Krivas defending. And what that does is it gives the advantage to the offensive player. It also takes your 7'2" guy away from the rim. So if you're talking about rebounding issues, those switches, fighting over those screens, Kelvin, on specific players. You made a great point the other day about how it's really a matter of KYP. I mean, really understanding your own guys on defense, but the offensive players and what they're trying to do, and knowing who the two shooters are in the court at all times. And those are the guys that you don't leave alone. Other guys may be a little loose on those switches.
And speaking of Mo Krivas, Tommy Lloyd says obviously the injury there with the ankle, they're still kind of bringing him along at a slower pace.
We started him early, and I thought maybe, it was too early to not start him. But, I'm waiting for Mo. If he's going to eventually start, I want him to earn it. And, I'm kind of waiting for him to do that. But it's nothing against Tobey. It's just me trying to kind of figure out a way to take advantage of these bigs that we have and utilize them as a valuable asset, And I think they can be. When we put this team together, we believe that would be the case. So, we got to figure that out as a staff.
And one of the things we saw at the end of that West Virginia game, it was primarily Trey Townsend and Toby Awaka on the floor. Trey Townsend played 40-plus minutes in that game against West Virginia.
Carter Bryant only 11, Mo Krivas only 12,
Henry Vasar only 3 minutes off the bench. So a lot of those two guys really have been coming off the bench and getting about 16 to 20 minutes. But that lowered substantially as Tommy kind of went with that set 5 of Townsend, Awaka, Bradley Love, and KJ Lewis at the end of that game against West Virginia in terms of Vasar and where he is. Tommy admits that he does need to be more productive.
Henry's had a good fall, and you got to utilize it. And I've had conversations with Henry. When you play 3 games in 3 days, and there's a lot of moving parts and things happen, you don't have a lot of time to sit back and kind of, really holistically think about things. You're in the moment. And sometimes when you're playing from behind, like we seem to be doing those last couple games, you end up with a lineup out there, and if it's holding its serve or having a little bit of success, you kind of roll with it maybe, and it kind of maybe throws your rotations off a little bit, and so I think Henry's just a little bit of a victim of that. I don't think it's an indictment on his performance or anything. It's just kind of how the rotation broke and how the games broke. But we also know that, if we want to be the team we need to be, Henry needs to be, a contributor to that.
What I want to see, Kelvin? I want to see Henry Vasar and Carter Bryant be more cutting forward because the issue here is both those guys seemingly like to come off of those curls out of the corners and come catch that ball and face up as if they're going to do something off the dribble. And Vasar did that a couple times, straight line drives, dunking on people, that kind of thing, against maybe some lesser competition. But those windows close real fast. And you're talking a lot about the over pressure that the defenses are showing Arizona. Guess what? Carter Bryant and Henry Vasar are gigantic targets, 6'9", 7 foot, good hands, and good finishers. So, Kelvin, if there's a little bit of extra aggression on the defensive end, seeing those guys with hard, quick cuts and the guards looking for them, I could see some easy buckets coming from both Henry Vasar and Carter Bryant off of those cuts, quick cuts to the rim when the defense is over-pressuring.
Well, and you said what the problem was right there. They're not cutting. They want to handle the ball. They want to show that they're big guards. The 7-footer, he's worked on all his skills. He want to show that, hey, look, I could dribble and I can knock down shots. And really, your advantage is your height. Get to the bucket, get some easy buckets around the rim, then go to that part of the game where you can go off the dribble because now your confidence is up. The problem with as a coach is this. If that's the first thing you do is catch the ball at the 3, put the ball on the floor and turn it over, and they get in there and dig in and get a steal from you, right? Okay, now we're operating and where my mind is thinking that you're not being aggressive. You're not looking to be physical. So right there, that knocks down your minutes. As a player, I remember playing for Coach Osa. Whenever I came in the game and took a shot right away, he took me right out.
Right out.
He took me right out. So his mind ain't where it's supposed to be. And I didn't understand that as a young man because I thought, hey, if I can get here and show that I can make a bucket or two and show that I can score, coach is going to keep me in the game. No, because you think that's the game plan is to throw the ball to Vasar and as soon as he get in the game to go try to score from the three-point line. J-Dub, I don't think that's the game plan. I think maybe they're cool with him putting it on the floor once or twice, because he has had success and he did the work with the new coach, right? Mm-hmm. That they talk about that has been advanced up.
Coach Ken,
yeah, right. He did the work, but you have to do the easy stuff first to get yourself going, especially when you coming off the bench. And I'm right, J-Dub?
Yeah.
When you coming off the bench, you can't come in firing. You can't come in putting the ball on the floor and make a mistake and think the coach is going to go with you over the starters. You have to come into the game being solid. Number one, defensively, can't be a liability on that end. You 7 foot, you're supposed to go in and get some boards. You can't have 4 minutes, 0 rebounds.
And DK, Kelvin just described why Henry Vesar played 3 minutes and Mo Krivas played 12 minutes versus West Virginia in an overtime game is because whatever they did when they first got in that game, it was not part of the game plan, is not what the coaching staff was looking for them, and clearly wasn't effective in those minutes that they did get. Otherwise, it's very similar to what you saw with Del Orso versus Duke. Coaching's, Kelvin, I mean, the coaches know, looking in those players' eyes, if they're bringing what that game plan requires from them, and if those guys are coming in and doing things outside the box that the coaching staff's not looking for, again, there are other guys that they're going to put in there. So,
and I just looked at it: 3 minutes, 0 rebounds. The first thing you do when you 7-footer, you go get a rebound and show the coach I'm engaged. At worst, I'm rebounding.
Yeah,
that's the first thing you have to. 3 minutes, there should have been able. I'm getting 1 rebound. A guy told me in my neighborhood growing up, he said, I don't care what you do. You get a steal, you get a rebound, you do something where there's something on your name where it's not all zeros.
Yeah.
And it can't be just offensive. He had 2 free throws. That's the only stat on his name besides that turnover that I'm talking about.
And that's a roster with 8 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. West Virginia. So that's,
you see my point?
That's not
that's
a
all.
rebounding.
Like, as a coach, I put you in the game as a 7-footer. You don't dunk. You don't dunk and you don't rebound. I got a problem right now. I don't know how long I can work with that. I'm gonna go smaller.
Well, we'll hear from the head coach coming up later about his big men dunking, because I asked him about that one play that kind of disturbed me with Mo Krivas in the last game. You'll hear Tommy Lloyd.
Did you get a napkin at Bob Dobbs?
I almost got a napkin at Bob Dobbs on that one for sure. For sure. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Wildcats and Southern Utah this afternoon at McHale Center. Wildcats looking to get back to 500 with a victory. That is our first look at Southern Utah.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindownedepot.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Oh. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Lewis gets a screen from Townsend, moving left, now down to Townsend on the right block. Double teamed, he goes up with the hook shot. That's good for Trey Townsend, who's having a great game. He's got 17 now for the Cats.
Feed the big fella if you can't get to the rim on the drives, as Trey Townsend looks, I don't want to say unstoppable like DeVries, but he's been equally as good.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Trey Townsend is our spotlight today. Again, I mentioned he played 41 minutes in that game against West Virginia last Friday night. 7 of 12 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 19 points, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, had a plus-minus of 4 in that game. Trey Townsend has started a number of games at the 4 for the Wildcats so far this season. Coming over from Oakland University in Michigan, the Horizon League will likely surpass 1,900 points in his career today in this ball game. He is just 9 away from that mark is Trey Townsend. I mentioned he's been playing a lot of the 4 position. It's a position he really loves to play.
I feel I'm a pretty versatile player. You know, obviously I'm a forward 4-man, but I feel I can stretch the ball out, drive it, shoot the 3, which, at Oakland we didn't have 7-footers that could, play the 5 hours of center there. So, I enjoy the position that I'm in here and get to expand my game. And I think me being able to play my true position like this ultimately helps our team. But, it was a struggle at the beginning, but we're all still finding our way. And, like I said, I'm playing with more confidence now and finding where those areas are that I can expand, play in the post and, understanding my teammates' tendencies.
Again, this is a young man that had just Division II offers coming out of high school. No Division I offers. Walked on at Oakland University in the Horizon League. Helped lead that team, to the NCAA tournament last year, where they upset the Kentucky Wildcats, and now trying to find his way as a starter here in this lineup for Tommy Lloyd. Talks about what U of A saw in him that allowed him to get this opportunity here in Tucson.
The team had a spot for me to come in and play my game. They didn't have any specific things they wanted me to do. They just wanted, they saw me as a player at Oakland and wanted me to come be myself. But they also saw that I was a capable shooter. The tournament run, I had my fair share of threes there, and they invested a lot of time into me this offseason so that I'm able to perform in these games and shoot threes. But, it wasn't any crazy conversations. It was just them believing in me and trying to get me to believe in myself beyond the arc.
I know we talked about the defensive side, Kelvin. You want to see more defense from Trey Townsend. One of the things we were wondering was what we were going to see from him behind the arc through 7 games. He's just hit 5 of 17, shooting 29%. So it doesn't, I'm sorry, 3 of 12. 3 of 12 so far on the season, 25%. So he's only made 3 3-pointers. We saw him make, double that in the 2 exhibition games. Been harder for him to find that shot here during the regular season. So I think at this point, are we ready to say that maybe that's not going to be a part of his game that the Wildcats really want to depend on moving forward? That, like we were talking in the first segment, him more down on the low block, like what he did at Oakland, might be the better option for him at the offensive end?
Yeah, I think it is for the long run for his professional career. I think a lot of time guys get stuck on trying to prove what they can do instead of really honing in what they have an advantage at. Right now, the game is everybody shooting threes. So guess what guys can't do? They can't score around the rim. They can't score around the rim. So anytime that you have a guy that could do that, he needs to take advantage of that. You can always get better at shooting. I mean, once you become a professional, they have all day to let you work on shooting and to let you work with the different coaches on shooting and whatnot, or with my hands to let you work on shooting and whatnot like that. So I just feel like that do what your strengths are right now. Don't worry about expanding your game. But if so, just shoot a couple of games. That'll bring the defense out. That'll make the defense respect you, but you don't have to worry about shooting them in volumes just to make a couple.
And now, come on. Trey Townsend shot 33 threes as a freshman, 42 as a sophomore, 52 as a junior, and 32 as a senior. He's got 171 career three-point attempts. So it's not as if he didn't shoot any threes at Oakland. It's just that, like he said there in that comment, he had to play the 5, Kelvin. He was the biggest guy on the team. So they had him inside the paint for the most part. But like you just said, you don't want him hunting three-point shots. That's not what we need Trey Townsend to be doing. You need to be doing damage in the paint. And, Kelvin, if he finds himself open with 5 foot of space, 8 foot of space between him and the defender, and he's feeling good about it, let it fly. But don't go out there and hunt those threes. You need that dude to be, punishing defenders in the post, because that's a guy with man strength.
Trey Townsend, again, last year, the Horizon League Player of the Year, was the MVP of the Horizon League tournament. We mentioned they upset, Oakland did, Kentucky in the NCAA tournament. He had 17 points and 12 rebounds in that game. They lost in overtime to NC State. That was the NC State team that went on that deep run last year. He had 30 points in that game to go along with 13 rebounds. So, again, his strong performance there in his 4 seasons at Oakland led him to this team, and he has been a starter for all of the games. We'll see if that continues as we move forward. That is the spotlight we're shining today on Trey Townsend.
As today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
And don't forget, Window Depot sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day post-game show. Much more straight ahead. Arizona volleyball playing in the NVIC tonight, 6 p.m. at McHale Center. It's a doubleheader day at McHale. Basketball, volleyball. We'll hear from the head coach of the Arizona women's volleyball team, Charita Stubbs, when we return. Along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for all your holiday travel. Jack Furrier's 14 area locations are ready to help. So call, stop by, or visit us online at jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Are you afraid to open your investment portfolio statements when they come in the mail? This last year has brought its own unique set of trials and tribulations, but you don't have to face them alone. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee of Meridian Wealth Management. I've spent my career helping people navigate their financial wellness. Call me today at 719-1433. Let's open those envelopes together. We will make sure you're on the right track. Visit us online at meridianwealthllc.com for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Previs turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps. Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Little big swing, and Arizona captures that third set. It wasn't easy. 12 ties, 5 lead changes, but the Wildcats take it 25-21.
Arizona volleyball going to play tonight at McHale Center. It is the NVIC, the National Volleyball Invitational Championships, the secondary tournament. Wildcats unfortunately left out of the NCAA tournament despite winning their last 7 matches, finishing with 20 wins, 20-9 overall, 9-9 in their first season in the Big 12. We were talking with Desiree Reed-Francois, the athletics director, yesterday, and just the difficulty of the fact that none of the fall sports teams are going to qualify for their NCAA postseason competitions. And you could really say that volleyball and soccer probably missed out by 1 game each. I think one more win gets volleyball into the NCAA tournament. I think one more win, that game in Houston, you can look at the Wildcat soccer team losing down at Houston to a team that was winless in Big 12 play, probably was the game that kept them out of the NCAA tournament. You could look at a number of games on the women's volleyball side. Colorado at home, a game that they were leading late, had a chance to close out, but lost in 5 sets, being one of those, and then just the bad 3-zip loss to Kansas State prior to, which really, they lost that game, but that set the stage for the team meeting, which kind of spiraled into 7 straight wins. So, again, a game that you lost that was a positive, it turned into a positive, but a game that had you won and then followed with 7 straight wins, you might be playing in the NCAA tournament.
Kelvin, as an athlete, you remember all the wins, but there's a loss or 2 along the way, right, that sticks with you forever. So, they'll learn from that. That's a team of freshmen, right? Most of the stars in that team are all freshmen. DK talking about 1 win away from that NCAA tournament berth. I'm sure a lot of those women will go back over this next off season and work on what they need to do to make sure that doesn't happen next year.
Let's hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats women's volleyball team, Charita Stubbs, who spoke this week about this opportunity. I asked Charita about Sunday, watching the NCAA selection show, and how difficult that was for her not to hear the Wildcats' name called.
Just describe Sunday, watching the show, how it felt, how the girls reacted.
It was probably the most painful moment that I've been in with a team, as we sat there and watched and whatnot. And then once they were finished, we kind of turned the television off, and I walked forward and walked backwards, walked forward, because I wasn't prepared for that. And then you just speak from the heart and let them know that we feel your pain and we understand. We did everything that we thought we were capable of doing to get there. And I've since spoken to several people that kind of explained that it was our non-competitive preseason, but gave kudos to us for scheduling the way we did, because the girls had to learn how to win. After last season, we didn't win enough and they didn't understand. And so you just have to go back and say, okay, let's grind this through and figure out how to get the right competition, which honestly, scheduling is the hardest part of the job, because you don't know how good a team's going to be. You don't know what a team will get or lose because of the transfer portal. And so one of the stats that is used is KPI, and KP told the Big 12 conference last year to wait as long as you can to schedule. And I'm like, whew, that was brutal. It was painful sitting there trying to wait and see and the right team and look at the rosters and stuff like that. So that's all I can do is go back and try to put us in the right position. And I found out that winning on the road is better than winning at home, and winning at a neutral site is better than winning at home. I learned that.
And KPI, especially when you look at it, it considers margin of victory. I didn't know if that set to points, I'm not sure which. And then, some things that RPI doesn't. How much do you think you'll look at that going forward as compared to RPI?
Well, I'm going to look at all of it. I think there's another one called Massey. I was told about that one as well. And what I want to understand is why is there such a drastic discrepancy between it? Because the RPI takes in consideration winning on the road and at home and whatnot. And so all of them are just opportunities for the committee to use to get their data. And the key is to put ourselves in a position where we're not in that position again.
They talk about non-conference strength of the schedule, but then you see teams who didn't play in or out of conference, didn't have top 25 RPI games let alone win.
I said that too.
So when you think about that, why do you think they put so much, is it because you have the choice in non-conference that they're putting so much stress on that versus what you get in conference where you're playing all those games against top 25s?
In theory, you have a choice, but in some situations, you don't have a choice. Some people can't play far away, or some people can't get invited to the right tournaments, or, so it's just a metrics that they use, and it's the safe bet because they were never going to go back and say I messed up or I made the wrong decision. Not that I would expect them to do that either. So you just listen to what they say and you put yourself in a position to, once again, not be in that position.
You basically have the same home tournaments year to year. Did you schedule those differently this year than maybe you guys have in the past in terms of competition?
No, because probably for the last 4 or 5 years, we've played New Mexico State, who typically win, their tournament and get into the NCAA tournament. I think the fact that we play Alabama State, who normally wins their conference, and so at the end of the day, we didn't play anyone that was in the top 50, whereas last year I thought we actually scheduled well. That was a good scheduling, but we didn't win. And then it took us a long time to, if any time, to figure out how to win. And so there was pieces of it that I would do all over again, just because it's about your team. It's not necessarily about getting to the tournament, but it is about getting to the tournament at the end of the day because that's how I keep my job and, win and things like that. But our kids didn't know how to win. They were fragile. And if I had started off the year this year doing what we did last year, we would have spiraled still. Even though our freshman class and Kiari coming in here was phenomenal for us, they just needed to understand that they can win and what it looks like to win.
Obviously still not the outcome that you wanted, but can you talk about some of the positives of still having a very successful season? Well,
we had a 20-win season. I mean, Kim is like my little walking person of all the knowledge that we have, and we haven't done that in a while. And, 7-game win streak, haven't had that since 2001. So I'm super excited that we're getting the opportunity to play. We have the opportunity to play 4 more matches, and what are we going to do with that? And so I never sit back and, I was waddling on Sunday. But after Sunday, you don't sit back and you don't feel sorry for yourself because there was a reason why it didn't happen, and there's a reason why we're in this position to make great things still happen. So what we do with it is most important at this point.
What did you learn about this tournament going through it a few years ago?
What did I learn about this tournament? That you have to be ready to play. You can't take any team for granted because everyone's going in with the same mindset. We should have been there, or we want to get there, or we want to get reps from our other players. This, to me, is just it's a tournament that I want us to win.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about what you said to your players on Sunday?
Well, I walked forward, I walked backwards, I walked forward, I turned to look at my husband, and he gave me no words of wisdom or hugs or anything like that. I'm laughing. And then I said, clearly this is not the outcome that we wanted, that we were expecting. I know it hurts. I'm hurting. I don't think I said that, but clearly I think everyone knew that I was hurting. And it's a matter of now, what are we going to do with this? This can be something that brings us together, or this can be something that divides us. And every opportunity is an opportunity to get better. So, I don't remember verbatim what I said, but that was the gist of it.
Did you know right away you were going to take the other opportunity to the other tournament, or did that come in hours after that?
Well, you have to work on it in advance. So it was something that we were preparing ourselves for if we didn't get into the NCAA tournament. And the reason why it's important to prepare for it is because you have to prepare the team for set 5. So at the end of the day, we made it to set 5. That's what we wanted to do. That was our goal all year long. And if you ever pause or you give them a voice in it or things like that, then feelings and emotions come into play. So we had to prepare ourselves so that we were able to be a part of it.
And last time you guys played in it, it was also a young team, and that's why Dave said he played that year. But how is it also important to give your seniors, something after the disappointment?
This group of kids is fun. I know I've been around a lot of teams, and each team is special for various reasons, but this group I feel like they're my kids, even though some of them were here when, Dave was here and whatnot. But I want to give them every opportunity to be successful and be good. Elena wants to play professional, so you put her in a position to do that. Tori's going into the working world, and, she'll probably play for fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course, you want to extend that as long as you can. And, Haven is, maybe she'll come back. I don't know the answer to that question just yet. But you want to put all of the players, Amanda, put them in a situation where they can be happy, that they walk away and say, I won something. I've accomplished the things that I set out to do, and that's to be the best. And so it's split between that and getting the reps for your young kids and the experience so that you don't have to necessarily take preseason to teach them how to win. You keep riding this pony as long as you can and win out type thing.
I mean, if 4 more games, you have a chance of a 11 match win streak. I mean, that's other than the non-conference, it's been a while too. So, I mean, all those milestones, what have you seen them mean to the players?
I don't know that they know as much as we think they know about that. But they'll say, I said this earlier when Avery was like, hey, Rita, how does it feel to win more games than you did last year? Or, hey, Rita, Carly was like, Rita, how's it feel to win 20 matches? And so that to me is exciting because they pay attention to that. But the records and ins and outs of the season, they have no idea. Like I had to tell Carly the other day that I was the first player in Arizona history to score, get 300 kills, 300 digs, and 100 blocks in the game. She goes, what? You dug balls? Yes, ma'am. I was playing all the way around. And so they don't really know. And she's like, but you're in middle. I was like, yeah, but I had to play all the way around. Or I got to, however you look at it.
Did they even understand what the game was before the libero?
No, they don't have a clue. No. So now, at the beginning of practice, I'll go out there and serve, and it's like, oh, I aced you. Or they'll serve a ball, and it's like, okay, I could pass that ball at my age now. And I was like, no, you can't. And so it becomes a banner back and forth, which is fun.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
And we found out that she did, in fact, ace the freshman star, Carly Cisneros. And as Carly told us, it was quite embarrassing to be aced by your head coach, and it would never happen again. So Rita teaching those lessons, even in practice. Not just as a coach, but as a former player. Good to see. All right. Let's.
I'm glad that was the highlight of her day. It won't happen again. I'm really embarrassed.
That was Carly Cisneros talking about being aced by her head coach. All right, coming up in hour number 2 of the show, we're going to give you your college basketball scoreboard coming up here. Also, DK with TL, sponsored by Nobody. My weekly questions to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. We'll have your pest of the game. Who's going to be that Thunderbird that gets underneath the skin of the Wildcats today? And our view from courtside. We're going to talk with Chris Lewis, who is going to call the game today for CBS Sports Network. I know we've been on CBS a lot over the years. I don't know that we've had a lot of games on CBS Sports Network, which is the cable side of the CBS outfit. But Chris Lewis will call the game, and we'll chat with him about the contest. But first, let's check in on your scoreboard today in college basketball.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Well, let's start maybe on the football side before we go to the basketball side, because there are a lot of conference championship games that are happening this weekend. Last night, Boise State beat UNLV 21-7. So Boise State, the number 10 team in the country, headed to the college football playoff, along with their outstanding running back, Ashton Genty. Kelvin, that is a program that for a long time has been on the edge of greatness, one of the best programs in Group of Five, and now they're going to get this tremendous opportunity to be in this postseason tournament.
Yeah, man, it just goes to show that if you continue to play the right way, you get a chance to be in this type of position. I mean, that running back is just magnificent, and they just have a core recruiting base of just getting kids from California and adding in some Texas kids and getting them up to Boise and enjoying that blue turf. That blue turf still messes with my eyes, when I'm trying to watch. I was watching last night, and I was just like, man, but yeah, man, they got a good thing going on up there, man, and just seem to get a lot of talent there and coach them up.
Ashton Genty, the running back we're talking about, 32 carries, 209 yards in that ball game, 1 touchdown, man. He just delivered every single time out. I know there's going to be a lot of, I know there's a lot of love about, our guy Travis Hunter up in Colorado, but man, I don't know how you don't give the Heisman to Ashton Genty. I mean, he answered the bell every single game.
Well, I give him the Dope Walker. That's for the best running back in the nation.
All right.
Right. But I just believe, the competition, he did play a few Division Ones that but just right there, Nevada, was it UNLV in the championship game. He just rolls over those guys. If they would have gave more of a fight, to me, UNLV hurt his chances because, again, it showed that the competition level of the people he'd been playing against, that was the championship game of his conference, right?
Right.
No resistance.
Do you remember how crazy Charles Woodson's Heisman year was?
Right.
So Hunter has more touchdown receptions this year than Woodson had receptions that year, and he's only been targeted, Kelvin, 26 times.
Yeah. Wow.
They don't throw at him, and he's got more touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Charles Woodson, I think, had 12 receptions that whole Heisman year, remember?
Right.
He struck the pose, he got, the whole thing. I don't know, man. Playing both sides of the ball is crazy.
In my opinion, don't have nothing to do with the Deion hype. I'm going on eyes. I'd like the Boise Gente, I don't want to mess his last name up. I like him. I love what he brings to the table. That would be my number one running back if I could build a team. But my number one player that I would take to build that team, it'd be, I would find offensive lineman, but that's another story. But I would find me some offensive linemen. It probably wasn't no boy from Boise because they blocking. Boy, that line is blocking. They bullying people. But Travis Hunter, man. Travis Hunter, when I'm talking about receiver, cornerback, look at what he does as a receiver on that team with like 20 receivers.
Yeah.
They got it ain't like Shadur just throw him the ball every time like we kind of threw to T-Mac.
And not only that, but you're talking about like you want to have that one moment, maybe 2 moments. Have you seen some of the touchdown catches Travis Hunter's made this year? He's had a couple of crazy catches.
And some of the runs after catch.
Yeah.
He'd be in a crowd, and it's just like this little skinny guy just comes out of there. The toughness, man, to be able to play both sides of the ball. And I ain't one of the people say, just give it to him because he plays both sides and he plays 150 plays. No. Production matters. And for him to be that productive on both sides of the ball, man, and with that pressure, the lights, camera, action is on. How many big-time games they had. I don't remember seeing Boise State on TV much. So it wasn't a lot of pressure. And another thing I don't like, I'm going to say this. I love that he's a durable back and he can tote it 30, 40 times a game. But to me, that hurts your Heisman chances because it took you 30 carries to get 200. If you like that, you go and watch Tron Candidate. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have been able to do that on 20 carries. I think one of the things that are going to hurt him going into the NFL is all the carries that he had over these last couple years. That's a lot. I thought Kadeem Carey had a lot of carries when he was here. I think that hurts you when you're going into the pros to have all those hits on your body.
So we know that Charles Woodson's year, but does it surprise you, Kelvin? And we know that running backs, quarterbacks, they get all the love. But does it surprise you he's still the only defensive player to ever win the Heisman?
No, because I know it's a hype reward.
But he did it because he got those 14 receptions, right?
He played on the offensive side.
Because you can see him on both sides.
Get that hype of the offense.
Interesting. Army also won over Tulane, 35-14. They're 11-1, but unfortunately, because of Boise State, they will not be able to get into the postseason. Just getting set to start, Iowa State and Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game. Georgia and Texas today on the SEC side. Penn State and Oregon in the Big 10. Clemson and SMU will play for the ACC championship today. Basketball side on the scoreboard. Let's give you the games happening today in the Big 12 Conference, and that will begin with a game that's in progress. Kansas State leading at St. John's 16-15. Houston hosting Butler today. Utah and St. Mary's in Salt Lake City. Colorado and Colorado State, the Battle of Colorado, that is in Boulder today at 6 o'clock. We'll check in with more Top 25 coming up for you a little bit later. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. DK with TL coming up next. It is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
With cooler weather on the way, many of us are turning on our furnaces for the first time this season. We hope everything runs smoothly, but if you notice strange noises, frequent cycling, or no heat at all, give Rightway a call. Right now we're offering a complete system tune-up for just $65, plus a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Don't wait till it's too late. Call Rightway, 520-549-1914 to schedule your $65 complete system tune-up.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockinK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Efon, and J.W. Madden.
Wildcats and Southern Utah today at McHale Center. Coming up for you, 12 o'clock is tip-off. We've got you till 11:30 when the network takes over. Ryan Hansen, Brian Jeffries will be on the call. Next Saturday, we're in Phoenix for the Wildcats and the UCLA Bruins as the rivalry is renewed with the two teams now being in different conferences, UCLA in the Big Ten and Arizona in the Big 12.
You think they'll get more than 4,000 fans for that one?
Yeah, only 4,000 fans were in Poly Pavilion when Southern Utah came to town.
If you want fans to come to a game in L.A., I mean, Southern Utah is going to be a tough job.
I had to look it up because you're talking about the Southern Utah, team losing by 40 to that Bruins team in Poly, and I thought, well, and you were mentioning how it's, it's a hostile atmosphere and all those things, and I'm thinking, well, typically the Bruins don't really get big numbers for non-conference smaller schools. They got better things to do, Kelvin, in L.A., and sure enough, it was just over 4,000 for that game, so probably a little bit rowdier in McHale today.
Time now for DK with TL, sponsored by Nobody. My weekly questions to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats.
Tommy, obviously you guys have given up a lot of three-point shots defensively, but how okay are you with that as long as you're maybe not giving up a lot of twos in return?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're necessarily great with either of them. The threes of, they've come in a variety of fashion, and, we got to kind of just, for one, just get back to probably playing a little bit harder in having a little bit more attentiveness and effort in some of those areas and in trying to, make people miss a little bit more. I still think this is going to be a really good defensive team. I don't think our numbers are crazy off. I mean, they're obviously not where we want them to be. We just need to kind of harken back to, what are the things that drive winning on the defensive end? Well, you got to do a good job on the three-point line. You got to protect the paint and hopefully keep the other team off the free throw line. I think you can look back at all these games and find instances where, one of those three things has been prevalent. So we just got to get back to maybe being a little bit more consistent at all of them.
Oh, you're happy with the closeouts? I mean, is that part of it?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely some technical things, that you can get better at. And, some of it's scheme. We got caught in a couple games where, teams, played small and pick and pop fives and we weren't maybe quite ready as a group for some of those situations. And, at the end of the day, when it feels like things aren't going your way too, it just feels like, sometimes you play – bad defense, and they miss the shot. Sometimes you play good defense and they make the shot. So we just need to focus on playing good defense and then living with the result. But I think as much as any, speaking specifically to last week, it's just rebounding. I just think there was just a number of one-on-one rebounding battles that we could have been better on. We could have been tougher on. I went back and watched them on film. We were getting pushed around a little bit, and that's just not acceptable.
Tommy, there was an appearance that the last maybe 6 minutes of that West Virginia game was very physical, almost like a war. Did you feel that, and do you think that that's what the Big 12 is going to be when you get there?
Well, I mean, for sure. I mean, it's going to be a physical style of basketball, and we've been in some physical games already. I mean, the Duke game was physical. The Wisconsin game was physical. Davidson plays physical style, and, Oklahoma's physical in their own way, and West Virginia was a battle. I mean, it was just two teams and individuals out there, fighting tooth and nail. So, here's the deal. This team should be built for it. So you know what? Now it needs to show, and we need to find advantages in that physicality area.
What led to the renewed confidence we saw from Del Orso from the Duke game, where obviously he just seemed like maybe it was a little over his head to what we saw in
experience. Just this experience. I mean, sometimes you got to go through it, and And, he went through it. I mean, he's a guy that we believe in, and I think he's really going to help this team. And I think you guys saw some flashes of what he's capable of. You just need a little bit of experience. And hey, as a group, we're not making any excuses. Maybe our experience overall wasn't where I would hoped it would be, and so, we kind of got, knocked off track a little bit, and now we're having to fight to get back on track, which isn't a bad thing. Being challenged is not a bad thing. And it's definitely not something we're running from. I've been really fortunate in this coaching business to be around a lot of winning. Okay, I've been really fortunate in my first few years at Arizona to have a lot of winning. Guys, I'm okay. I'm built for this. I can't be a great coach if I'm only a good coach when our program's, winning. Then I'm a front runner. So I'm okay. I'm okay with where we're at. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it. And I'm gonna use this as a great learning opportunity for myself, and we're gonna use this as a defining moment for our program. I mean, that's our approach.
Tommy, do you think there's an emphasis with the referees on the calls we're seeing with KJ, the technicals? Because it seems like they happen really fast.
No. Well, listen, let's not complain about the officials. Let's complain about the behavior. And listen, KJ's an awesome kid. And I'm here for KJ. I'm with him on this. He's got to fix it. He knows it, and he's talked about it. And, we're going back to, Caleb's incident in Wisconsin. KJ had these 2 incidents. Those just aren't winning. That doesn't translate to winning. And those guys, they know that now. And you know what? I wish I could promise it won't happen again because, basketball is a very emotional game of a lot of random events. And that's what makes it beautiful is the randomness of the events and the emotion attached to it. Sometimes, the emotion and the response doesn't align with what you would always want. And we've got to be better because we can control that. We have some control on that. So we've had a lot of talks about that. I hope it's something we can put behind us.
There was a play with Mo Crevis where he got an offensive rebound and kind of dribbled it under the basket. Is that just who he is, or can you teach a big man to, look, if you get an offensive rebound in there, go up strong and slam it home with authority?
Well, so Dave, we're going to put this under the category of, a lot of people, ask questions, or have answers for tests they've never passed. You know what I mean? You and I don't know what it's like to be 7'2". You don't know what it's like to have the ball under there and have 3 guys on top of you. Now, in what you're saying, can his techniques get better? Absolutely. And they will. I've seen, an uptick in him in practice in the last week, and he's finally getting to the point where he's able to practice a little bit more. Hopefully that means his rhythm gets better, his legs get under him, he builds confidence, and he plays like the player, we know he is. And I think that's coming.
That is the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, Tommy Lloyd. DK with TL, as always, sponsored by nobody. If you want to jump on that sponsorship train, you can do so. Just give us a call here, 520-887-1000, and you can sponsor my weekly questions with the head coach. We'll dive into some of what he said coming up a little bit later in the show. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, getting you set for the Wildcats and Southern Utah. We're going to go courtside with the gentleman who called today's game for CBS Sports Network, Chris Lewis, coming up next, along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, The Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it. And it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain, Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
All right, it is the Wildcats and Southern Utah coming up tip-off at noon, a little under 2 hours now. And let's talk to the gentleman who's going to call this game on the television side today, CBS Sports Network. His name is Chris Lewis. And Chris, if I'm not mistaken, we appreciate you coming on the show. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know that you've called a game at McHale Center before. Is this your first time here?
Yes, absolutely. First time. And no, it's great. Sitting here courtside right now. We can kind of hear they're going over the national anthem. So hopefully you don't mind me speaking over the anthem practice. But no, it's a great building, and I can't wait for the fans to get here and this place to be rocking.
All right, so how have you looked at this game so far in terms of Arizona versus Southern Utah? The Wildcats coming off a little bit of a slow start to their season, under 500 for the first time since 2010. What have you seen in your review of Arizona?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that's still trying to figure itself out. Like a lot of teams in college basketball, and you make so many changes. So Caleb Love is like the standout All-American returner, and it's a good reason why Arizona by the end of the year will be likely a contender in the Big 12 and be a factor come March. But a lot of new pieces and new roles around them. So whether it's playing around Trey Townsend or finding the best role for Carter Bryant, KJ Lewis coming off the bench in the last game. Just trying to make sure you have the right pieces and get it to all fit in a good way. I'm be tough schedule. I mean, when you're taking on teams like Wisconsin, Duke, Oklahoma, and West Virginia, in the Bahamas like that, it's going to be a challenge. And, Arizona is still trying to figure it out. Tommy Lloyd, excellent coach. I know their system of that ball movement, high assist total hasn't exactly been that yet. But, it's still early. Give it time.
Yeah, we'll hear from the head coach coming up a little bit later, just on why the assist numbers have been down. When you're seeing teams for the first time, what are some of the things that you try to look at? I don't know. Obviously, this is a little bit earlier game today, so I'm not sure if they had morning shoot around. Have you had a chance to see both these teams yet this morning?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a chance to visit with Arizona. Got to a couple of their practice/shoot arounds. So you just kind of want to, for me, number one as a play-by-play guy, just names to faces is really the most important part about doing the, just getting to those shoot-arounds and then being able to talk to coaches and get a good storyline feel for it. Southern Utah, got to watch some of their games on tape to get a feel, especially their game against UCLA, where, that was their other game against a power conference team where, it wasn't close, but you at least got to see how they would handle against a team that has the athleticism and the talent that an Arizona would have. So, on the Arizona side of things, I think they're just excited to get back on the court. It's very rare that you have the schedule that you do where this is basically their only game in a 2-week stretch.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really odd, and maybe that's a benefit to have a lot of time in practice to work on some of the issues. But it makes it feel like, all right, you can't wait to actually get on a court during a game because you're tired of practice.
Yeah, finals obviously coming up plays a lot into that generally here at Arizona. So we sometimes will see a limited number of games in the first half of December.
Yeah.
Pleased to be joined by Chris Lewis. It is your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Arizona for more than 25 years. When you've looked at Southern Utah on tape, obviously they're a team that kind of prides themselves on being able to get to the foul line. What are you seeing there that maybe allows them to do that?
Yeah, sorry. 18 free throws made per game. That's part of the reason why they have a good record, 8-2. You look at their losses, and you're talking Loyola Chicago, who's one of the few unbeatens left, and UCLA. So this is a quality team. I know they're a preseason pick to finish last in the WAC, but just given what they've done so far in the non-conference, you'd have to think that their target is much higher than what their preseason projection was. T.V. Jackson is their lead guard. He's a transfer from Colorado State. Had a limited role there, but Nico Medved, excellent coach, and he got to learn from him. And I know Medved, from covering the Mountain West for quite a bit, was really high on Jackson. He just didn't really have the natural role for playing time, especially playing behind a guard that they had there at Colorado State, Isaiah Stevens. But you can sort of see how Jackson's learned from Stevens, who's now an NBA caliber player. And you can see like a little bit of the nuances of the dribble drive game in what Davey Jackson does. So I think he's a big reason why the team gets to the line a bit. He's a good playmaker, and he sets the table for a lot of their other weapons.
You mentioned you've done some work in the Mountain West. If I'm not mistaken, you have a background in Boise with the Boise State Broncos. So I got to get your opinion on the Broncos winning the Mountain West on the football side and getting to the college football playoff.
Man, I felt so happy for the people out there. I don't live in Boise anymore, but I lived there for about 10 years. You mentioned I worked in the athletic department, doing broadcasting for them, and just the fans. They really care. They're passionate about their football, basketball too. Now I know Leon Rice and Tommy Lloyd, really good friends from their days at Gonzaga, but Ashton Genty is a superstar. Like, in my opinion, I think he should be the Heisman winner, making nothing away from Travis Hunter, but a guy who, is elite at that, being a running back, one of the best seasons of all time, might be, to me, just like a little bit more valuable than being very good, very, very good at, two different sides of the ball. They're both putting together incredible seasons. But for Boise State, they've waited for this for a long time to have access to a national championship. And you put them in the tournament, they're going to be ready to go.
We just had that conversation 2 segments ago, and our captain here, Calvin Efon, would beg to differ with your opinion of that, Chris. Lay it out there for him, Captain.
Yeah, I think that Genty is the Doak Walker award winner. I think he's the best running back in the nation. I think whatever award that they can give out to the offensive line, because I think that offensive line, y'all got some bullies on that offensive line. But I think when we're talking about the best player in the country against the best competition, I have to go with Travis, man.
Well, I will make the case that I think both teams played. I think Boise State, I think it has either played more or just as many ranked opponents as Colorado has. And, Boise State did play the number one team in the country, Oregon, and Genty had, I think, 193 yards, I want to say, and at least multiple touchdowns
carries
in that game. So, he does get the ball a lot. That's part of the value. You have a running back that you can get the ball 30 times to, and he could, produce the level he has. He averages 7 yards per carry. So, this isn't a factor of just some guy, getting a lot of carries, and 7.3 yards per carry is insane. And then, you try to see offensive line. I think their offensive line hasn't exactly been dominant. If you've been watching a lot of their games as closely as me, they've had a lot of injuries on their O-line. Their pass protection's been up and down. And I do think the run blocking, while, some plays it works out, there's plays where he's making something out of nothing. And then the speed that he has, let's say the offensive line opens it up for what would be an 8-yard carry. He's taking it 75 yards. Travis Hunter's incredible too. So, they're both deserving winners. I would just go that, Genty's a little bit more deserving. But then again, I remember Genty's first game at Boise State, and I go back a little bit with him. So it's not exactly the most objective person you're talking to about
Chris Lewis joining us with your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Chris will be calling the ball game today on the CBS Sports Network. Chris, we mentioned obviously that you got your career going there in Boise, but you've ascended to doing some games on the National Football League level as well with CBS. We obviously got a lot of kids in our community that strive to get to that level. What's your advice to young broadcasters about how to make that happen?
Number one, just continue to have fun. I'm sure you guys would give the same advice. You're getting to talk about sports and get paid to do it. Just don't lose sight of how fun it is. And I think the audience can tell when the person who's behind the microphone is having a good time. And if they're having a good time, you're more likely to have a good time listening to them. So I think that's number one. And, number two, I would just go with treat people right. Just like in any industry, the sports media industry, very small business, and the opportunities tend to go to the people who people want to see succeed. So if you're a good guy, you try to treat people right. Good woman, you treat people right. You'd hope that the opportunities go. But I've certainly been fortunate, and wouldn't trade places anywhere else. I mean, CBS and all the other networks that I get to work with treat me incredibly well, and I've been fortunate.
That's outstanding. Now, do you have an NFL game tomorrow? You jetting right out of here to an NFL city?
No, I see my NFL, I get that when CBS is loaded with a 7-game week. So not quite this week where they have 7 games, but the Cardinals game, speaking of Arizona, I got to do the Cardinals-Ravens game last year, and that was really fun to cover that, Lamar Jackson versus, Jonathan Gannon defense. So, Arizona's got to the state again for the national championship game last year, too. So always good times when I get to Arizona.
Outstanding. Well, Chris, we look forward to your call today and enjoy your time here in Tucson. We hope to see you back again in the future.
No doubt. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Chris Lewis will call the game today for CBS Sports Network.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
All right, it is the Wildcats and the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, the T-Birds as they go by. Who might be that T-Bird that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today?
Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at BePestFree.com.
All right, the T-Birds 8-2 on the season, 6-0 at home. They've played some games on the road. We mentioned they went to UCLA and did not play necessarily all that well. They've got what they like to categorize as their big three. Jameer Simpson, who is their current leading scorer on the team. Jameer averaging 16 points per ball game. Dominique Ford, who's their second leading scorer at 14 points per game. And you heard Chris Lewis talk about Tavy Jackson, who is at 10 points and 4 rebounds. That is what they categorize as their big three. Is it going to be one of those guys that gets underneath the Wildcat skin? Is it going to be somebody else? Kelvin, who is your pest of the game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy off the bench, Hersey Miller.
Oh, yeah, out of Louisville.
Miller. Yeah, Master P's son, the rapper.
Yeah.
I think he might be down here for the Snoop Dogg Bowl.
Okay.
Himself also.
I wonder if he might be down here as for a preview today. You never know.
Exactly.
We'll have to look for him out.
Exactly, right. His son is playing. So, again, Hersey, man, because he gets major minutes as a guy coming off the bench. Has some starter, role type of qualities, but he brings a little bit to the game.
Hersey Miller, how about you, J.W. Madden?
Yeah, I'm not going to keep it simple. I think Simpson's the guy you got to worry about because we've talked all pregame long about penetration being an issue for the Cats out there in Atlantis and how they were finding open shooters via that penetration. This Southern Utah team's going to try to get in the paint, Kelvin, and via the guards off the dribble. And he's a guy who's gotten to the line 57 times. So you're talking about a guy who's averaging almost 6 free throw attempts per game from the guard position, senior, crafty, 200-plus pounds. I worry about guys getting in that paint, Kelvin, and causing mayhem. Keep those guys in front of him. He's a guy you want to make sure you don't get him going early. Make his day long. That's what needs to happen for the Cats. Jameer Simpson, he's a problem.
Jameer Simpson, Hersey Miller. I was actually going to go with Hersey Miller, so I'll go with my backup, and that's going to be, I think, Tavy Jackson, who we heard Chris talk about right there, a guy that can defend at that end of the floor. And like you said, this is like we've talked about. This is a team that likes to get to the line, and we'll chat about that with Rob Jeter coming up here shortly. And he's one of those guys that's very effective, although maybe not shooting as well as he'd like this year. At 63%, but can score, can steal, and is pretty good on the boards as well. So I'm going to go with Tavy Jackson as my pest of the game. So Tavy Jackson, Jameer Simpson, Hersey Miller could be the guys that get underneath the Wildcats' skin today.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit BePestFree.com.
It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, Wildcats and Southern Utah straight ahead. Still a lot more to come for you as we dive into the third hour of our pregame show. Along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
If you're suffering from back pain and your physician is giving you a back brace or a pain pill or an injection and not explain the process of what you have and how to rehabilitate yourself, then there might be something missing. I'm Tom Corey. I'm a physiatrist here at Desert Sky Spine and Pain. If you're looking to find the root cause of your pain, any pain that's limiting your function, limiting the things that you want to do in life, call us at 520-229-2080 or find us on the web at desertskymedicine.com.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Priebus turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps. Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 3 of our pregame show, getting you set for the Arizona Wildcats and the Southern Utah T-Birds. Let's tell you what we've got coming up for you in the final hour of our program.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
We'll hear from Anthony Del Orso, who found his offensive game down in the Bahamas. Your best bets for today: Arizona, a 25.5-point favorite on the big board at the Desert Diamond Sportsbook. Over under at 156.5. We'll have your opponent scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. The head coach of the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, Rob Jeter, will join us on the program. Keys to the game, starting lineups, all of that straight ahead. Keeping an eye on the Goldberg and Osborne scoreboard as well. College football championship Saturday. Iowa State early leading Arizona State 7-3 in the Big 12 championship game, but the Sun Devils just went for it on a 4th and 1 from midfield. Matt Campbell Dillingham going over the top on a deep ball, and the Sun Devils now have a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line on a timeout late in the first quarter, though trailing right now 7-3 in that contest. We'll keep you up to date on what is happening there. We mentioned Anthony Del Orso finding his shot and his offense on the road trip down to the Bahamas and the Battle for Atlanta. 7 of 12 from three-point land in the 3 games down in the Bahamas, coming off the bench. He is now 12 of 26 from 3, so that equates to 46% on the season. That's well above the, most coaches want you to shoot about 40% from 3. So again, for a young man who started the season slow, Anthony Del Orso, at least at the offensive end, and as a 3-point shooter, which we thought was going to be an area where he could add to this offense, he's starting to find that, guys, here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's confident, and to see a few of those shots go in tough situations, it brings confidence for his teammates. But yeah, he has a nice stroke on him, and you can tell that he went back into the lab. And again, confident guy, because usually after a couple tough games like that, some guys just kind of go and hide, and he was ready to come back out there. But he's a guy, again, I hate to not bring up the other side of it, but he's a guy that I have to get a little bit more out of defensively on that perimeter.
Right. No question about that. And you want to see him, like we've talked about before, do it in games against Power 4 competition. But again, I think he's kind of began to solidify himself in the games against Oklahoma and West Virginia. And that's what you want to see. You want to see him be able to perform against that level of competition. Was just 2 of 5 in the game against Wisconsin. Obviously 2 of 5 in the game against did not make a shot in the game against Duke, but did come back with the solid performances. 4 of 7 against Oklahoma, which was a good day for him, and then 2 of 7. Maybe didn't shoot the ball as well against West Virginia as he did against Oklahoma, but did make a 3-point shot as well in that ball game. Let's hear from Anthony Del Orso on who he has found and is bonding with on this new team of his.
On and off the court, me and Krivas, I would say the closest, just because I had 2 Lithuanian teammates at my old school. He kind of has become that new Lithuanian teammate for me. And we kind of bond over things like, being not from here and a lot more things in common. But Caleb and I, KJ and I, JB, Trey, all of us, we're pretty close as a team. But I would say Krivas and JB probably the closest.
There you go. Bonding with his point guard, which is never a bad thing, and with the big man, Mo Krivas. And what is Anthony like so far about life at the U of A?
A lot of differences. 60,000 people is a big difference. Walking around and seeing events going on 24/7, that's something that's different to me. Football games, pretty cool, tailgates, that kind of environment. But I would say just walking around campus and you kind of have that swag that we kind of pride ourselves on. That's something that's pretty cool.
Kelvin walked around campus.
Say again?
I said, Kelvin walked around campus as a freshman. That's right.
Coach Olsen told us to.
Yeah, there you go.
Coach Olsen told us to.
Yeah?
Yeah, Coach Olsen told us, he said, he got us all in there, me, Mike Dickinson, Miles, Donnell Harris. He said, you guys, when y'all walk around here, walk with your head high. we're the best program on this campus.
Is that what he said that?
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
Okay.
You know, he also said, don't complain about the sun. You knew that about it being hot. You knew that when you were recruited here.
Yeah, wasn't it the year before you got here when they went to the Final Four? Damon and Damon Khalid with that Final Four run. That was a deep run. That was a really, really fun team to watch. So yeah, Coach Olson was feeling pretty good about himself your freshman year. Obviously they were. They were definitely the best on campus.
All right, let's head on out to the Desert Diamond Casino and see what we've got on the big board today.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Arizona minus 25.5 today. You're over under 156.5 on this game. We'll start. Let's see who's winning right now. I think I'm winning by a lot here. 9 and 5 through 7. That's me, and J Dub is 5 and 9. So 5 and 9 for J Dub, 9 and 5 for me, 6 and 8 for Kelvin. So I'm winning by a full 3 games right now. So I'll go first since I'm winning, and I'm going to take this. I'm going to take U of A and lay the 25.5. I think Southern Utah obviously will be better than they were at UCLA. I think that was kind of the tail end of a trip and maybe some sea legs out there on the West Coast. But I still think that Arizona will bounce back and win by a lot today. Kelvin.
I have to agree with that. I think that the guys are going to be hungry. They've been here practicing on their rims in their court, back home in their bed. So, and just hungry to compete. So, yeah, I think they'll be in trouble. I'll take that 25.
Yeah, I think the Cats individually and then as a group, as a unit, have something to prove themselves, have something to prove, that they are that good, Kelvin. And so I think whatever conversations been going on behind the scenes, positive and negative, I think they're going to come out inspired, play in front of that McHale crowd. First game home in a while. So, yeah, I think I got nothing but respect for Southern Utah. I just think Arizona's coming in. If they've been 3-0 in Atlantis, might be a different story. But, yeah, I think Arizona covers that 25.5. Yeah.
Over under 156.5. Arizona usually is good on the over at home in these games, so I'm going to stick with that today.
Yeah, I'm going over as well. I think Arizona runs it up a little bit, and I think with the free throw abilities of being able to get to the free throw line that Southern Utah has, I can see them scoring over 50.
Yeah, I think Arizona's going to score. I think my only concern is that they really needed to find their defensive intensity after that trip to Atlantis. So I think a lot of the emphasis this week has definitely been on staying in front of your man, when to help, not leaving open shooters, all that stuff. They've been drilling a lot of defensive stuff this week. But what did you say, 156?
156.5.
Yeah, I think it goes over. I don't think too much more. Maybe, I don't think Arizona's going to score 120. I think they're going to definitely, both teams over that number, probably about 160, 165.
All right, so everybody is in total agreement on this one today. Arizona minus the 25.5 and take the over at 156.5 today over at the Desert Diamond Casino.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Tommy Lloyd was asked this week about the trip to the Bahamas and if he watched all of the offensive possessions that his team had in all 3 of the games.
Every game, one by one, every possession, possession by possession. Yes, sir, I did.
Every possession Tommy Lloyd watched in that game. And again, this is a team right now that is 3-4, not exactly where we want it to be, not where they want to be. But Tommy says, look, this is not going to be easy.
I think the most important thing is to realize that when you look across the board, when you're a great program or you're a great player, you're going to stumble from time to time, and it's really painful. And the most important thing is that you evaluate, you learn from it, and you come back stronger. And that's where we're at in the process right now.
And guys, I want to go back to one of the questions I asked him in DK with TL that he really wanted no part of, and that was the assumption that maybe some of these calls on KJ Lewis technicals have been quick whistles, that maybe the referees are maybe looking a little bit more at this stuff, and he pointed, look, it's not about the officiating, it's about our behavior. I was a little surprised that he jumped in on that. But again, it's definitely because, again, I don't know. Like I said, KJ doesn't seem like, we've never had that issue with him in the past. I don't remember anything happening like that last year. I'm getting older, and my memory doesn't always stretch back the way that I'd like it to. But I don't remember KJ mouthing
I don't remember him
off
getting a tee
last year. He didn't get any tees, and I don't remember him, being demonstrative or shouting a lot or anything of that nature. And that's one of the reasons why I thought maybe this is something that they're putting an emphasis on. But he wanted to put the focus squarely back on the players and the behavior.
Yeah, well, one, as a coach, you don't want to give your guys any excuses because you give them excuses and then it's just going to be 10 more texts. You want to put the responsibility on him and make him understand that, look, that's a selfish play. You're thinking of yourself at that time. That has nothing to do with what we're trying to do as a team. Anything that's about yourself, you have to take it out. So, and that's including itself as a coach. You can't be over there getting technical fouls yourself because that's a bad example to the player. So again, you put that on the player and you make them understand that is not acceptable, and we can't have that as far as for this team to be successful, because you need KJ Lewis on the court, and what you don't want to do is turn yourself into a target.
Yeah.
Because if you start getting 3-4 more texts, now the refs have to talk about that when they go into their meetings before the game, like, hey, watch out for KJ Lewis. He's a little feisty over there. That's what they do when they have their little production meetings before the games or whatnot. So I just think it's a thing to where, as a coach, you go in and you tell everybody it's not acceptable. Let me coach the game. Let me talk to the refs. Your job is to play.
Yeah, and Kelvin said the same exact thing after the game the other night. It's like, you got to make sure that KJ understands that you can't be having that, especially in a tight game. And that one tech was costly, right? And think about it this way. In the NBA, you got 82 games. You're seeing the same crews night after night after night, 4 games a week. Yeah. You can develop a reputation of being a bit cantankerous or whatever. But in college basketball, especially in this non-conference, how many different referee crews have they seen? And it's not as if there's this giant group chat with all the referees around college basketball all talking about, watch out for that KJ. He's doing this, or he's talking about this. You have to make sure that in those big moments, emotions, Kelvin, or you're going to have emotions. You're going to be amped up about being in that game, being in a tight game against a really good opponent. You just got to make sure that doesn't come out as anything demonstrative. The one where he was 0 for 6, made a 3, pointed directly at their bench, that's what got him that tee. So those guys were chirping, Kelvin.
Right.
When he missed shots, somebody was saying something, this guy can't shoot, this guy can't shoot, this guy whatever. And he made his first shot, and the first thing he did was not, point at the guy who gave him the assist.
Exactly.
It was point at their bench because obviously they were saying something. You just got to clean that stuff up.
And that's what they say, whether it's football or basketball, celebrate with your team. Celebrate with your team. And if you do it that way, where you're high-fiving your team, as J-Dub said, if you would have pointed at his teammate, that would have been just as effective as pointing at them. Because letting them know, my teammates believe in me. I don't care what you do.
Right.
I don't care what you think. They do. My team do, so forget what you're thinking. So yeah, that's a thing. I remember in football, I got one personal foul my whole time, and I was being selfish. A guy had hit me in my back, so I wanted to hit him back in his back, right? And I did it right on the sideline, right in front of the referee. And trust me, I was the captain of the team. When I tell you, Coach told me, let me have it in front of everybody, then that's the way you do it. You take care of it where it happens at, and Coach did that, and I'm sure if I did it again, I would have been missing in action the next game.
And real quick, Kelvin, just on that point, like the idea of taking it personal. Like how many guards we seen here at Arizona where they get scored on, next time down the court, they're letting it fly. Like, you scored on me, I'm scoring you. You scored on me, I'm scoring you. Like, you can't do that. You can't make it personal. Doesn't matter if a guy scores on you. Next play, right? Next play. Just get over it and do what you got to do to help your team win.
Well, and the interesting thing that is we've had 4 technicals in 7 games. So KJ's had 2, Caleb had 1, and Henry's had 1. So that, to me,
Del Orso got 1 in preseason, right?
And Del Orso got 1 in the preseason. Yeah. So that's really 5 total, and I don't. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah,
did we get 5 technicals at all? Did we get 5 player technicals last year? That tells me that there's something more going on than just the behavior. But then, and that was my point of the question: is like, look, we've had 5 T's already. And I don't.
Well, I'll say this, DK. Our guys not used to losing. Our guys not used to using, and they showing a little fight, a little extra feistiness. I mean, you think of KJ Lewis, I think of a feisty player, a hustle type, scrappy type player that could have a little edge. For him to be successful, he kind of has to have a little bit of an edge because he's not 6'5". He's not 6'5", right? So he kind of have to have a little bit of an edge, which I like. You just don't want it to boil over to where it hurts the team.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. It is the Wildcats and Southern Utah coming up. We are going to talk to the head coach of Southern Utah. And coming up next, Rob Jeter, along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for all your holiday travel. Jack Furrier's 14 area locations are ready to help. So call, stop by, or visit us online at jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Come out to Dave & Buster's, the best place outside of the stadium to see the games this football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game watch party at Dave & Buster's in front of the big screen, plus other big prizes and weekly winners. Join them now through October 22nd, all day, every day. They'll be offering $5 22-ounce drafts only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rocking K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
All right, let's take a closer look at today's basketball opponent. It is the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Thunderbirds, Rob Jeter. SUU coming into Tucson today with a 7-2 record overall, and have played a familiar opponent to Wildcat fans in UCLA already this season. Coach, just give us a quick overview on the start to this season at 7-2 for the T-Birds.
Well, I'm pleased. This is year 2 for us as a staff. We took over a program that had been playing and functioning at a very high level. Todd Simon, the former coach, had done a really nice job here, and this is my 3rd program that I've taken over. So nothing new. You have high expectations. We have all of the things here necessary to continue to build upon the other coaches that have been here, including Simon, and we're doing that. We're doing exactly that. Last year we laid the foundation, took our lumps. It's always ugly at first when you're building something, and then now you start adding, those pieces and those things, and we're doing that. So we're pretty pleased. Actually, we just played a game, so I think we're 8-2 now. So
okay.
I'll take that for year 2.
There you go. There you go. Now, you mentioned, obviously, that you've taken over a few programs, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Western Illinois. Why was Southern Utah the right fit for you?
Opportunities come, and you just don't pass them up. I had been an assistant coach for Marvin Menzies at UNLV. We took the chance to come up to Southern Utah and play a true road game here at Southern Utah. So I'd been in the building. I'd seen the energy, the fans, and the support. It was impressive. So that was part of the reason why I had a familiarity with what I was walking into. And then obviously, it's a beautiful part of the country. Just another opportunity to help young men and give them opportunities to be better.
Rob Jeter joining us. He is the head coach of the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. It is your scouting report, and your scouting report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, we're here to get you there. You mentioned you had been an assistant coach for Marvin Menzies at New Mexico. The Wildcats played at Wisconsin earlier this year, and they honored Bo Ryan and the 2 Final Four teams that he took to the Final Four, 2 teams that beat the Arizona Wildcats back in the early part of the 2010s decade. You were there with Bo Ryan way before that in the early part of the century. What were some of your takeaways of being around a legendary coach like Bo Ryan?
Well, Coach is, he's like a father to me. He's a mentor of mine. We talk regularly. He's just inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame. Everything that I have accomplished in basketball, I owe to him. And, yeah, we have a special relationship. The way I do my business and the way I coach my team, very similar to how he taught me how to play this game and how to coach this game. His success was unparalleled. I mean, you can just Wikipedia him. You know what he's accomplished, right? My job is to try to honor him and have teams that can be successful and programs that can be as successful as his, or at least something that he can be proud of. So those are my goals, and he's a special person to me.
You played for him at Wisconsin Platteville. What was he like as a coach at that level, and then what was he like? Were there changes that he made when he got to Division I?
No, he's the same person. The only difference was we pressed. We had a diamond and 1 press, 1-2-1-1 press. We scored 90-some points a game, close to 100 points a game. We trapped in the corners. We were really aggressive. We were up the line. You know, the game of basketball always evolves, right? I think when we moved to Wisconsin, we didn't press full court. That was the only difference, other than philosophies, his approach to the game, you know, trying to shoot more free throws and make more free throws in our opponent's attempt, and everything that goes along with that, because that's the foundation of what he did. And we have to make more free throws in our opponent's attempt, and then you can get into everything that what that means around that. But none of that changed. None of that changed.
That's interesting because you have made 175, it looks like, this year. Your opponents have only taken 150 so far. So that's right on point with what you just said there. Why is that an important kind of philosophy for you?
Well, it requires discipline, right? So in my program, we have pillars: that's faith, family, discipline, humility, right, or service. And for us, the discipline piece is you want to put pressure on the rim, and to do that, you can earn trips to the basket, to the free throw line. The highest percentage of shots on a stat sheet is free throws, because no one tracks only layups, right? They track field goals made and attempted. So the free throw line is the highest percentage usually on a stat sheet. You know, people can shoot anywhere from 70, if you're a good free throw shooter, 70 to into the 90s, right? So for us, it's about not fouling, because that's the other piece to this, and then getting fouled. To do that, you have to be aggressive towards the rim and not just settle for long shots.
Pleased to be joined by Rob Jeter. He is the head coach of the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. Today's Wildcat opponent. It's the scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, we're here to get you there. You've got three young men that you guys referred to as the Big Three: Jameer Simpson, Dominique Ford, and Tavy Jackson. What can we expect from these three young men coming in here today?
Well, the guard play is really the key to college basketball. You have to be able to take care of the ball. You have to be able to score. You have to be able to defend it on the other end, and it starts with those three for us. They're talented, they're strong, they're tough. Big challenge though, moving up to the level that we're going to ask him to move up to and play in Arizona. But they're great young men. They do well on and off the court, in the community as well. But they can score the basketball. They can play. They share the basketball as well, and they're leaders for us. So that's what we're going to expect from those guys.
You also have a transfer from, I believe it's Louisville, Hersey Miller. What's he kind of added to the program for you? And what do you look for in guys that maybe are looking to transfer from, say, higher level power forwards down into a program like yours? Yeah,
Hersey is a high level player for us, and we have 6 starters on our team, and he's that 6th one. And it's always good to have quality people that can come in and add, and he definitely adds a lot to our program. But he's a downhill player, plays with high energy. But what I'm most impressed about Hersey is that he's just a great kid. He is a leader. He brings positive energy with him, and that's what you need when you're building a program and trying to have sustained success. It's more than just putting the ball in the basket. You got to have competitive people, and they have to have great energy around them, and that's what Hersey brings.
When you look at, obviously, you've played in an environment like what you're going to get today here at McHale Center over at Poly Pavilion for UCLA. Maybe not the score indicative of what you wanted, but how did you feel like your team performed in that environment, and what do you want them to be better at coming into McHale today?
Well, we had just finished with 5 games. That was our 5th game in 10 days. And we had moved around the country from Cedar all the way to Chicago, from Chicago to San Diego up to L.A. Now, that's not an excuse. I didn't think physically we were tired at all. Mentally, maybe a little bit, and then the weight of playing a high-caliber team like UCLA, it just overwhelmed us. We were not ready to compete at that level, and it showed. And for us, we couldn't score the basketball. They really overwhelmed us with their defense and their ability to get extra shots. Now, that's something that we pride ourselves in, is trying to keep people off the offensive glass. We pride ourselves on taking care of the basketball. We didn't do those things against UCLA, so we get a second chance here. We get a second chance at a high level opponent to see if we can go in there and do the things that we practice and work on and really hold true to who we are. We have to take care of the basketball. We have to make sure we can box people out. To me, those are things that do not take a lot of talent. It just takes a little heart and a little determination.
Your son is on this team. Your son,
Yeah.
Robert. Tell us a little bit about him.
It is a blessing to have a chance to coach my son. I miss that coming up, right? I'm always coaching someone else's kid. And it was the same thing with him. I was in the stands watching him, and I'm watching another coach him. That always bothered me. But now I had a chance here in college to coach my son, a true blessing. And he gets the chance to see a different side of me. At home, I'm dad. I come in and, I take care of, those little things around the house. And he sees me in a much calmer state, unless he does something wrong, right? But as a coach, he gets to see that fiery, competitive side of me that you don't get a chance to see every day at home.
And speaking of dads, your father, you and I have something in common. We both come from NFL genes. Your dad was on legendary Green Bay Packer teams back in the day. The great Bob Jeter.
Yeah, and now where did your father play?
My father was Leroy Kelly, played for the Cleveland Browns back in that back in that same era.
Oh man, he talks about the Cleveland Browns and of course their running back. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Jim Brown.
They just run people. Jim Brown just run people over. So no, it is, and I know you can attest to this. Growing up with dads that played during that era, they were different. They were cut different. And what I would tell you about my father was Lombardi time and being competitive, all that stuff. We lived through it. If we were scheduled to go somewhere, let's just say noon, boy, you better be in the car by 11:30. and we're leaving at 11:45. Now I thought we were leaving at 12. Dad, no, we're out of here at 11:45. Well, no, you should say 11:45. But no, it's pretty cool to be around all those people. But it's really cool to see how those coaches and the sport of football affected, our parents and how they lived their lives and how they raised us. It was pretty cool.
Outstanding. Well, hey, Rob, looking forward to this game today here in Tucson and continued success with your club in Southern Utah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Rob Jeter. He is the head coach of Southern Utah with your scouting report.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Buick GMC, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Buick GMC, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer-installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Buick GMC, in the Auto Mall and at RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our Black Friday week of savings has been extended into December. Right now, every set of tires is on sale, and you can stack on manufacturer's rebates for even more savings, up to $180 more. We've also got popular maintenance services at up to 50% off to get you road trip ready for your holiday travel. And beyond the amazing low total tire prices, we'll include Jack's Plus Pack, a dozen tire-related services like touchless mounting, computerized balancing, new rubber stems, including the reset for tire pressure monitoring systems. Plus, you'll also get a lifetime of tire maintenance, rotations, rebalancing, and tire repairs. Jack's Plus Pack is a $249 value, and it's included with your new set of tires. We'll even throw in a free wheel alignment check if you want it, and it's all at the guaranteed lowest price. Get ready for holiday travel at any of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 area locations. Call, stop by, or visit us online. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Less than an hour to tip off at McHale Center, Arizona, Southern Utah. First ever meeting between these two teams. The roles somewhat reversed here. The Thunderbirds enter at 8-2, Arizona 3-4. First time since the Sean Miller 2009-2010 team that the Wildcats are under 500 after 7 games. That team finished 16-15 and was the first team in 25 years not to go to the NCAA tournament. So we certainly hope that that's not the case with this team. We talked already at the top of the show about how none of the fall teams made NCAA tournaments, and both your basketball teams are off to slower starts than has been the case the last couple of years. So you certainly want to right those ships and see if both of those teams can get qualified through to the NCAA tournament, or else it might be a really bad Directors' Cup year for the University of Arizona. And we certainly do not want that. Let's hear from the head coach now. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but we want to hear what the head coach has to say about it as well. And we also had it in our conversation with Chris Lewis, who's calling the game on CBS Sports Network today. But the assist numbers have been down a little bit for the Arizona Wildcats in the last few weeks. And Tommy Lloyd talked about why that is.
I mean, just I think overall ball movement. Just overall ball movement's probably not where it needs to be, and that's something we've been hoping to get back to, and and just these guys, kind of figuring out, how it needs to feel and how it needs to look when we play in a game, versus practice. You can do it in practice, and hey, we're going to work on ball movement, and everybody locks into the process and pats each other on the back and is all happy and excited. Well, what are you practicing for? Practicing for the game. So it's got to show in the games. And it's something that we've always emphasized. And, we're just falling a little short there right now. But hopefully that trend will change.
Yeah, I mean, we had a game this year where they only had 6 assists. That was the game, I believe, at Wisconsin that they lost. We've seen those numbers be down in the teens versus what we're used to seeing in terms of Tommy Lloyd teams, and the assists being up in the 20. He'd actually said that he thought the Davidson game was the best game in which they had moved the basketball. But the last 2 games there, the assist numbers kind of were not where we, again, are used to seeing them.
Yeah, I think you can probably go back a couple weeks, and I was saying, man, I think James Bradley needs to, look to assist the ball a little bit more. He's getting into the lane, at will, it seems like. He's always at the bucket finishing, but I never see when he has an opportunity when he's at the bucket to just drop it off to the big to allow him to get that easy, quick dunk to kind of get him going. So, yeah, I was putting a lot of that on Bradley and the guards, that they got to figure out a way to get the bigs easier shots. But it's also a thing where you got to knock down shots on the perimeter, because if you hit a guy wide open on the perimeter for a shot and he knocks it down, that's an assist as well. So I think us not shooting well as a team is from the perimeter is costing us an assist as well, and not getting in there and dropping it off for easy opportunities for the bigs.
We mentioned that number in terms of the 20-plus assists. There have been 116 games since Tommy Lloyd came to the University of Arizona, and they have hit that number, hit 20 or more in 54 of those 116 games. So that's about a 47% clip in which the team is over 20 assists per ball game. But like I said, that has not necessarily been the case in recent games. And in fact, let's just pull up the last 3 games. Against West Virginia, they had 14. Against Oklahoma, they had 13. And then against Davidson, they had 15. So there was not a single game on that particular trip in which the Wildcats had 20 or more assists. And that's absolutely something that they have to get back to in order to be successful, for sure. All right, an MTE, multi-team event, 3 games in 3 days. We heard one coach already this week came out a pretty popular one, and Dan Hurley, 2-time defending champion, come out and say, we're done.
Would you believe that I actually pulled that audio just for this moment?
Did you?
Yeah, here it is. Here's what Coach Hurley had to say.
Maybe that I'm not doing another 3-game MTE again, and that moving forward we will only play home and homes and single game events in big time arenas. I don't think I'll ever do a 3-game MTE again.
He sounds like his brother. Time.
Sounds like you've been yelling in practice, Kelvin.
So the no more MTEs for UConn. That's led to a lot of conversation about the value of these tournaments where you go and play 3 games in 3 days. Tommy Lloyd was asked about it this week.
I think you have to ask yourself, when's the only other time you do that? It's a conference tournament. But here's the difference. In the conference tournament, what happens if you lose the first day? You don't play 2 more games. You're done. You go home. So the teams that what makes the conference tournament is that the teams that survive have a little bit of momentum, and they're playing for the next thing, playing for the next thing, playing for the next thing. There's no consolation bracket. When you play a tournament, it's crazy because it's the only time you lost today. Well, yeah, you got to turn around tomorrow and you got to play again. So there's those 3 games in 3 days. It's hard. It takes an emotional toll on a team. Now, we've also been on the other end of it where we've come out on top of them, and to be honest with you, it may look like it. It may even feel like it a little bit. I don't think we were far off from going 3 for 3 there. And I know that, and to my core, I know that.
You know what the other difference, Kelvin, is between those conference tournaments is? You've already got a deep scout on those teams. Not only have you played them that whole regular season, but the season before and the season before. I mean, obviously Arizona now in a new conference, but you've seen the tendencies of those coaching staffs. You understand what you're going to see. So 3 games in 3 days for a conference tournament, postseason conference tournament, is a scout you've already got. What happened in Atlantis and Maui and all these other places is a big scramble to figure out the tendencies of what teams are going to be doing to you in such a really quick turnaround.
The funny thing to me is I just wonder why all of a sudden it's a problem. I mean, they've been having these games forever.
Because Connecticut went 0-3. That's why it's a problem.
Right. I'm like, come on, Coach Hurley. Like that, I was a little thrown off by him, man. I mean, because he's won a lot of major events or whatnot. So, to take the kids out of having an opportunity to go to Hawaii, to go to Alaska, to go to Bahamas, because, to be honest with you guys, that's why you do it as a coach. You're taking your guys to experience these opportunities to see Hawaii, to see the Bahamas. Any other time, they're not going to – you think there's no other time I wanted to go to Alaska, right? Coach took us out there. Now I'm like, I want to take my kids one day to Alaska. I would have never wanted to go to Alaska, DK. The same Hawaii. I went to the Hula Bowl in Hawaii for an all-star football game. You go out there, you get to see it, and now you want to take your family and things like that. So, I kind of disagree with these guys because I think that it's an opportunity to compete, which is the reason why you bring these guys an opportunity to compete against big names a lot of the time that you can't schedule any other time with home and homes, because that's the bigger problem, right, J-Dub? You can't get those home and homes with these guys to be able to have these type of games.
The other thing about it is that you're talking about a situation where they're talking to two different people. The fan base, Kelvin, and the players, those are not the same conversation. So the fan base, it's disappointing 1-2. Coach Lloyd got everything he wanted to out of that Atlantis trip because he got film, Kelvin, of what this team needs to work on that's real, that he can show players, we lost because you did this. We lost because this did not happen. That was the most invaluable thing that come out of that tournament. And against some high quality, like you said, D1 schools. So, as far as fans may be upset that they didn't go 3-0 and beat the Zags and win the tournament. But as far as the coaching staff's concerned, they got what they needed, which some adversity and needing to know exactly what they need to improve on this time of year.
All right, let's hear one more from Tommy Lloyd about whether or not he got to hang out with his friend Mark Few down in the Bahamas.
Yeah, we saw each other. Yeah, we saw each other for sure, and we got to talk a little bit. But like I said, hey, when you're playing 3 games in 3 days, I know you get back, and Bruce, you get to go to the buffet and hang out and have Mai Tais and do all that stuff. I really don't get that luxury. I'm literally done with the game, and then you're emotional. You had to take a breath, and then you know what? Oh my God! And in 16 hours we play West Virginia. What are we gonna do? Literally what it is. And you're up late. Then you get up early, and at the end of those 3 days, you're exhausted, and it takes a lot out of you. So you don't get a lot of time for any extracurriculars or anything like that, unfortunately.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
I'm glad Tommy was not the only one who was worn out after 3 straight days last week, because so was I. So were we all here having to
4 days.
4 straight games. He didn't have to do the 4. All they had to do was travel on that 4th day. But we had another game day with the Territorial Cup game. 4 days of 4 games. That's a lot of production on this side. But
it's a lot if they went 4-0. It's a lot when they go 1-3.
1-3 for sure. All right, keys to the game, guys. We'll start with Kelvin.
I think with the size advantage that you have, I think you want to pound the paint against these guys, get it into the bigs to force them into foul trouble, to give easier opportunities on the perimeter. Number 2 is, lock up on defense. I think we really need to continue to work on our helping and denying the three-point line and exactly how we're going to play that. So I want to see, watching this game, to see what the adjustments are. And I said 20 or more. 20 or more assists. I couldn't read my writing for a second. 20 or more assists, man. I think we need to get back to that.
Get back,
guys making shots. I want to see 20 or more assists today.
And I think that's the number one for me is you want to get, and I think Tommy said it, we need to get back to being who we are, and who we are is a team that shares the basketball, and that's 20 plus assists. That's when the Wildcats generally are more successful, and we talked about it at the top with this team. They're going to want to go to the line, so they're going to want to drive the basketball. So you got to defend with your feet today, not defending with your arms. Try to keep. I think what did you say? 18. I think they average 18 free throws a game. Let's try to keep that under maybe 14 today for the Thunderbirds. And I think if you do those 2 things alone, you're going to have an opportunity to win. I would like to see the guards. The guards are struggling shooting threes. Now we talk about defending the 3, but shooting the 3 has not been good. Caleb Love, 29%. Jaden Bradley, 33%. KJ Lewis, 30%. You're going to need your guards to make shots in order to win games in the Big 12. So I'd like to see those guys start to get comfortable knocking down some threes today.
Yeah, for me, you got to look at this team and what they like to do. And based on Arizona's struggles defensively, you got to keep the guards out of the paint and most importantly, keep them off the free throw line. Those 4 guards, their 4 leading scorers, combined, they're averaging about 18 free throw attempts per game. You can't have that happen today. I'd like to see that number close to 12 or less, but 15 or under is what I'm looking for. Don't play defense with your hands. Number 2, you got to dominate the boards. Obviously, that should be, the identity word that's thrown around so much. There are many identities for teams, but one of the identities for this Arizona basketball team should be able to dominate the boards with their size and athleticism. Back to that, 10-plus boards. And just like both of you said, you got to have fun playing this game. In this flow offense, looking for your teammates. You should have joy finding your teammates open looks to get easy buckets. That's what the flow offense, motion offense is all around. So 20 assists should be the regular. We haven't seen that in a while. 20 assists today. That'll be keys to beating Southern Utah in McHale.
All right, keys to the game. Let's tell you who's starting today.
The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Starting lineup today for the Arizona Wildcats, Jaden Bradley at the point guard, 6'3" junior out of Rochester, New York, averaging 14 points per ball game to go along with 3 assists. Caleb Love, 6'4", fifth-year guard out of St. Louis, Missouri, transfer from North Carolina, averaging 15 points, leads the team in that category. KJ Lewis, 6'4", sophomore guard out of El Paso, Texas. KJ averaging 9 points per ball game on the year to go along with a steal and a half. Trey Townsend at forward, 6'6", fifth-year forward out of Oxford, Michigan, averaging 11 points and 5 rebounds this year. And Toby Awaka at a forward spot, 6'8", 250-pound junior out of Hyde Park, New York. Toby averaging 8 points and 8 rebounds. That's going to wrap up our show for today. For Kelvin, for J-Dub, I'm David Kelly. Coming up next, Arizona and Southern Utah. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Kick off the savings this month at Royal Kia. Get APR financing as low as 0% for 72 months on a new 2024 Kia EV6. Plus up to $6,000 in available savings. Or lease it for $289 a month for 24 months with $1,000 due at signing. Get 0% APR for 48 months on the 2024 Kia Sportage. Plus up to $5,750 in available savings. Or lease the Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid for $399 a month for 36 months with nothing due at signing. EV6 K30848, Sportage APR K29986, Sportage Lease K29878, $650 acquisition fee, no security deposit. Mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Must finance with Kia Motors Finance. See dealer for details. Offers end 10/31/24. Kick off the savings now at Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide